Oh, I did forget to press the button, so we don't look that competent. Hey everyone, welcome. We were just having a conversation. I was saying how the titles make us look competent, and then I forgot to press the button. Morning, everyone. Hey everyone, welcome. It is the Warhammer Sundays, as always, with me, this one here, and of course...
Me, Colin, Festa 67's workshop.
There you
Sorry,
go.
I wasn't paying attention again.
Totes profesh. Yeah, yeah. Welcome.
I'm that professional. I haven't even got the chat open yet. God, really?
I'm that professional. I've even got pants on and everything. I know, it's weird. Anyway, yes, welcome to Warhammer Sunday, that time of the week when Colin and I sit down and do some Warhammers. That's it. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Yep, see you later, folks.
Yeah,
that's
bye.
enough of that.
Anyway, yes, so welcome to Warhammer Sunday. If you've never seen one of these before, Colin and I are just going to be waffling through or battling through our Warhammer builds and just talking rubbish for 3 hours and hanging out and stuff, and hanging out with you guys in chat. It's all about hanging out with you guys in chat. It doesn't really matter what we're doing on the telly. It's about us spending time with you guys and not reading your comments because we can't see them once we put our lenses on. But, you know, hey, we'll do our best.
We are absolutely useless at reading the chat. That's the one thing us two need to get better at, isn't it?
I mean, I'm marginally better because I've got the chat open, but, you know, we're both rubbish at it, but...
Yeah, I didn't have it open on my tablet of chatness. And
finger of shame there for you, look.
See, now, why do I feel so belittled?
So anyway, yes, welcome to the stream. Before we get going, let me do all the usual shout-outs, but I'll keep them quick. Thank you massively to the corporate supporters of my channel that keep this channel going. That is, of course, emodels.co.uk and goblingaming.co.uk, your one-stop shops for all your model making and tabletop gaming needs. Links to them in the description below the video. Don't just go to their websites. I've got hair on my microphone, hang on. Don't just go to those websites. Use the links that are down in the description because that tells them I sent you, and I get some little bit of a kickback from that. So do go and use those links. And, of course, to my patrons and channel members who literally pay my wages. I do this for a living. They literally pay my wages, keep food on my table, quite literally put food on my table. Yesterday, I bought some crisps, and that's their fault. My blood
Hold
salt.
up a minute. I'm gonna step in there. You can't just say some crisps. I want full details on flavourage. You broke your own rules there.
Oh, they were Doritos, the hot ones, the whatever they're called, the hot barbecue, the red ones. They were them. I was buying something else in the shop and I'm like, they're right there in front of the counter. I'm like, you can't put stuff like that in front of the till. I've got this little hand that goes like that. But yeah, so that's my patrons and members' fault. So thank you to them. If you want to help support this channel and keep it alive, keep the lights on, because like I say, I do this for a living, you can go to patreon.com/modelmakingguru. The address is down there in the bottom left of the screen somewhere. Or you can become a channel member and just press the join button underneath any one of my videos. Either way, you're helping keep the channel alive. You also get access to the live 24/7 Zoom video hangout if you want to, and there's a link for that down there as well in the description, so go and check that out. But yes, we're going to hang out with you guys in chat. As always, we've got the chat in front of us. Some of us. We will be wearing our magnifying lenses, though. So once we put those on, that will become a giant... I've got the chat here. It will become a giant blur. So if you want to catch our attention in chat, you can either put at Model Making Guru, because that'll put an orange box and it'll notify me that there's a comment. You can do at Festa 67's workshop as well, but because he won't have been in chat for like 10 or 15 minutes, it might not pop up for him. Or you can do a...
There you go. I'm live.
Yeah, or you can do a super chat by clicking the little dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window. That puts your comment in a big coloured box, and also you're helping out the channel a little bit when you do that as well. So massive thanks if you do a super chat. But if you're watching this on anywhere... Say again?
I was saying happy days, mate.
Okay, I'm struggling a bit because there's something on the lens of my glasses and I need to clean it off, but I can't do that just yet. And it's right where my eyes look. I don't know if you can see it. It's like there. I was going to say something. Brain's just gone now. I had no idea what was...
You was talking about super chats, Patreon on the 24/7.
That's it. Yes, I tried to keep this quick and it's just not worked, has it? Yeah, if you're watching this embedded somewhere and you can't see the live chat, click the YouTube icon in the bottom right-hand corner. Takes you to YouTube. You can join in the live chat and you can watch as well. And all the cool kids hang out in chat. Right, I'm doing my glasses now. Over to Colin to talk about something for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
What are you doing today, Colin? There you go.
What am I doing?
And what have you been up to and how are you? You filthy old bastard. How are you?
Dandy. That's what I've been doing, mate.
Look at that. Ooh. I'll put you full screen so people can ogle your bits. Wait, that doesn't sound good.
That's what I've been up to. I've been doing this on the Frolic with you. That's what I was making on the Frolic on Friday. Using the old canopy glue just to stick bits together. Just to
Canopy glue, canopy glue, canopy glue.
No.
Canopy
I had
glue.
a fiddle with.
Sorry.
Had a fiddle with me bits last night. Oh, that sounded wrong.
And now you're showing us your bits.
Yeah, and built that. So you got that. You got boxes of squigs on its Harris, guns, squig catapult, turrets, more squigs on the barrow in the middle, big guns on the sides, and of course a roller and a dozer blade on the front.
Oh yeah, I hate to say this, you know what I'm going to say, but you know what it needs.
Well, I've got that big Titanic funnel coming from Nigel.
No, but you know what it needs, don't you? You're probably already doing this, but it does need either a few squigs in the catapult ready to go, or more funny and more in keeping with Ork tradition, a grot hanging off the catapult bowl, like accidentally, so when it gets released, he gets flung off by accident, because there's always a grot.
A bit like the one hanging off my crow's nest.
Yeah, because there's always, whenever you get like a heavy weapon, there's always a grot who's about to get fired by his own weapon by accident, because it's what grots do. They kind of, grots like to make their colleagues go into the barrel of big weapons to clean them out while they fire them.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
You know it'll happen, mate.
Oh,
but yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to, and I've got other little geezers and things to add to it. So yeah, it's beginning to take shape now.
Lovely.
So that's what I've been up to, mate.
That is mint. And how are you doing, my friend?
Fine and dandy, mate. Fine and dandy.
I'm of course I'm carrying on with my Baneblades. I'll go full screen so I can show you what I've done. I'll take Guthorm out. Sorry, Guthorm, I know you like sitting in there. I know, but just shut up. And you made me thing fall over now. See what you've done. So I've carried on with my Baneblades. Got both of these. Deathcore Baneblades. This week, I have been mostly eating. I'll be doing some chipping on the stripes.
Oh, nice.
I've not started the weathering yet, but I have added all the base colours for the gold bling. There's not a lot of it. And I've painted all the filigree detail at the back in this bit here, the skulls and parchment scrolls and stuff like that. So that's all done. So today's going to be chipping on the stripes, on the... There's actually, in real life, they're actually nationality stripes, but I don't know what they'd be in the Warhammer world. Really, I don't. They'd just be cool stripes. But that's what I'm going to do, get the chipping done, and then I don't know what else after that, because I've not started the weathering yet. I'm just getting all the little bits down, so I might even do some decals. We'll have to think about that. We shall see.
Shock horror.
Yes, I know, I might do some. We'll see. But I'll take myself off full screen. And I'm getting quite into this painting on live streams thing that I said I would never do, but it doesn't seem too bad, to be honest. Now, I can hear rustling here. I can hear foodstuffs being involved.
Yeah, that's just me finishing off that bag of crisps, mate.
Now, come on, Colin, you know, you can't just say crisps. Nah.
Oh, dear. Oh, we can have knickers in a bunch, are we?
Always.
Cheese and salt and vinegar, actually.
You were going to say cheese and onion, weren't you? Because that's the default flavour.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I thought I'd better have something to eat. But,
yeah. Right, we shall have a quick look at chat and see who is in. First was Scale Model Ninja, who says afternoon all, so big hugs to you. Festa 67's workshop was in there, but finger words were allowed at that point, so we'll let you off. Speedy Curator's in. Hello, Peepholes, Cora Pink and Aisha Naim are in. Welcome to you three. Ray Aquilina is in. Hello, guys, my friends. Welcome to you, Ray. Big hugs. Max says, good afternoon, Foxx and Colin. I am returned safe and well. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Welcome to you. Dad's in, Scaly Models. Big hugs to Dad. He says, and he asks the most important question. So, what's on your bench and what's in your belly? Yes. What you're building? It doesn't have to be a model. Could be a drawing. You could be making a shelf. You could be constructing some sort of fire art. No, don't tell us if you're doing that. It could be anything. Whatever you're doing creatively at your bench, what you do. And what's in your belly? What have you had for your dinner, or what are you going to have for your dinner? Darren Edmonds is in. Hello, Darren. Welcome to you. Cryo the punching bag. And says, question, why not call it the Foxcast? You know, like a Voxcast. Oh, that would have been a great... That would have been... Because I don't know if you know, Cole, but like in Warhammer parlance, like radio communications, a Vox communications. So Voxcast. Oh, I know. Well, I can't do it now because it's me and Colin, so it's not just me. But in the days when I was doing this... when I was doing this as a solo stream, I could have called it the Foxx cast. Oh, I never thought of that. Oh, damn it. Everybody else always has the best ideas. Let's have a look. So we've got Dad asked Bench and Belly, and Aisha says, I'm eating roast chicken and noodles.
Oh, nice.
Now, I know there's no bench bit there because Aisha's starting to think about putting the bench together. So that's the fun bit, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Definitely is, mate.
Yeah. I mean, your bench is like an adventure. How would you describe your bench, Colin? It's like a Russian set of nesting dolls, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, hello, we fell out. Hang on, let me go back. There we go, straight away with the falling out. This happens every time. I don't know why it happens to me. It only ever happens to me. Sorry, Cole, I fell out there. So we missed everything you just said.
No, that's all right, mate. I actually went silent, mate, because I knew you had gone. So.
How do you know? Oh, you know I fell out, yeah, so...
Yeah, because I've got it on YouTube there, and it went white and went, oops, something went wrong.
I've got to adjust on the camera stuff now. So yes, your workbench.
Yeah, my workbench is quite modular, as you know. If I want to paint something, I just drop all my stuff out the way and plug my spray booth in, and it extracts. I've got hobby zone everywhere, and yeah. There's little cubby holes, like I open a drawer and there's a printer in it, or a door and there's a compressor on the back of it, and yeah.
Yeah, or you open a drawer and there's that bit that fell off a kit 6 months ago that you couldn't find.
Yeah, that's the thing I do notice.
Yeah, but, I mean, my bench is... No, go on.
No, it's just, it's a workstation at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, my bench is fairly simple. It's just a large... it's an industrial... like foldable table. It's not like a go and buy it from B&Q for 20 quid flippy floppy table, but it's a proper thing that I sort of maybe stole from my last employer. But we don't like him anymore, so that's fine. And it's just got a whole mess of Hobby Zone things on it, Hobby Zone units for storage, and that's it really. Nice and simple. But putting a bench together is kind of one of the fun things, especially if you, because you get to plan and it's nice. If you really can't be bothered, you'll find with modelers, if you can't be bothered doing any like modelling one day, what they'll do is they'll have a tidy or a reorganisation
of the man cave.
Yeah, because it's like, I don't want to do any work today, but I need to do something because I'll get told off by the missus or the better half. So if I just redo my bench, that counts.
But the thing is, then we end up for 6 months not being able to find anything because we moved it.
Yeah, that's the downside. So Aisha, have fun setting your bench up, because it is one of the fun things to do. Set it up for everything you need, and then the other fun thing is 6 months down the line you'll have 50% more stuff that you suddenly need to get more storage units for.
Yeah.
But I don't know where you are, Aisha, but it's worth looking up Hobby Zone storage units. They're available in a lot of countries. But
she's in Essex.
Oh, okay. You may... Just thinking about it now, though, you can get them from emodels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for remodel making needs. But if you can't anymore, unfortunately, in the UK, get them directly from Hobby Zone. Or at least you couldn't when I needed to, because they can't post them here. It's far too fiddly and complex.
Yeah.
Nowadays, so it's worth asking them, but you may have to depend on a UK-based seller. But have a look for them; they're really good. Let's have a look at... I can't believe that Foxx cast. I never thought of that. God damn it. God damn it.
Someone come up with one in the brunch about this WARHAMMER Battlewagon, and they said, it's the model maker's boom truck. I was like, it's brilliant, isn't it?
That's awesome. Model maker's boom truck.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah.
RW Hobbies is in. Welcome, RW. He says something and then retracts it. We'll never know.
Hello, Richie.
We'll never know what Richie said. Not ever in the history of anything will we ever know. I bet it was brilliant as well. Max McGinn says, yeah, that's it. Ork workplace accidents, about you having like a grot hanging off the end. There's always like that big gun. That's the big joke about grots, is like they're always given the heavy weapons.
Yeah,
but they're idiots. So there's always the chance that a heavy weapon, when an orc heavy weapon is used, it will either work perfectly, explode and kill the operators, or an operator will at some point be fired out of his own weapon, because that's just the way it goes with grots.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Max McGinn says, I took a look in my Astra Militarum book. The red and white stripes represents regiment colours, where they're from, plus it can also be a way to identify allies on the battlefield. Yeah, in the real world, the red and white stripes were to identify British forces, and it was like a little square on the side of a tank. But on the Matilda, sometimes it was painted on the front, and I just saw it once, and I really love the idea. It just looks great on tanks, these stripes. They're not accurate, it's obviously not real world, but I think it looks great on these tanks, so there you go. To me, this is Death Corps, allies, don't kill us. There you go, lovely. Not that anyone would ever capture a Baneblade, of course. Hugh Gordon's in. You.
Hello, you. How you doing, geese?
I'm all right, thanks. Oh, you don't mean me. You mean Hugh.
No, I mean you.
Not you. Not me, not you, but you.
Nah, you go.
Okay. Afternoon. Belly, ham and cheese sarnie, bench at the spray booth, clear coating my fuel Bowsers. I think you can get pills for that nowadays.
Yeah.
What's your beverage today, Carl? Well, I've got my big cup of tea.
Barry's tea in the Festa cup.
Oh, you've got Barry's tea. Oh, because I've got Barry's tea
in that one, and then I've got my rehydration stuff in that one, in the models one. Anyone
that watches Warhammer TV will know that Peachy really likes Yorkshire TV. Yorkshire TV? No, he likes Yorkshire tea, sorry. But we're here to tell Peachy that he's wrong and he should drink Barry's tea because it's far superior.
Yeah, so, that's what I've got in my thing of goodness.
You get 1,000 XP for drinking Barry's tea. Is that the bags I sent? Or have you got your own now?
That's the bags you sent over, mate. My own bags haven't arrived yet.
You're putting a Beyblade sponsor cover. Oh, I love it. I love it. Let me put you on full screen so you can show people that. I've just seen what you're doing.
I just want to put another gun on there because I can.
That's a Baneblade sponsor cover that fits perfectly in that location.
Yeah, this is how my mind and imagination works. I don't like the opening. I know. I'll put one of them on there with a gun on it.
Oh, God damn it!
What?
That's awesome.
Well, the other sponsor on the other side is going to have the funnel coming out of it. You know, the big Titanic funnel that Nigel's printed me.
Oh, yeah. You're a goddamn genius.
That, don't you?
You're a goddamn genius.
So it just fits perfectly, doesn't it? Oh. Yeah. If in doubt, put a gun on there.
If in doubt, gun it up. RW Hobby says, Belly, barbecue Pringles. Good. Bench. I'm trying to stifle a burp. It's kind of halfway down. You know when you get a burp stuck halfway and you know if it's going in or coming out? And it's like stuck. It won't go in or it's just... RW says, barbecue Pringles for Belly. Bench, finished the last project. Haven't figured out what to do next. Hang on. If you finish the thing, you get a ding, but I can't really do. I haven't got a thing to ding with. I've only got
the most disappointed ding ever.
I've not got anything metal, have I? Have I got anything? Hang on, I've got some nail clippers. No. It's probably really boomy as well. I've got nothing to.
So lame.
Hang on, I've got now metal. I say I've. Here we go. Hang on, I need my left hand though.
Yeah.
Oh, that was rubbish. It's got tea in it. It's not gonna. It's not. Oh, bless you. I've got nothing to. How about a glass of water? That might work.
Oh, bless you.
No, that's rubbish.
Yeah, it's a bit crummy, mate.
There's nothing else I can hit. Oh well. You finish a thing, you get a thunk. There you go.
Yeah, you get a.
Joseph Kelly, hi all. Belly, cup of Earl Grey. No, you need Barry's tea. Get rid of that Earl Grey. Get Barry's tea. Much better for you. Bench, sewing up ping pong balls to make greedles. Ooh.
Oh, good shout.
Yeah. Good for making little... If you were, for any reason, making very large Terrorhawks model and you need to make some Zoids, they would be perfect half ping pong balls. Zoids, was that what the little robots were called? I can't remember.
I think it was, yeah.
Cora Pink says, Bench, got my resin figure Colin printed for me, primed up and plan to start painting it later.
Oh, nice one.
What was that resin figure, Col? Or are we not supposed to know?
No, it was a wizardy lady, if I remember rightly.
Ooh.
Trying to remember the exact operative word, but yeah.
Wizardy lady will do fine. Belly is food will be leftover pork roast from yesterday. Aisha confirms she's in Essex. Cool, you're not far from our kid who lives in Chelmsford. Max says you can't beat a good coating on your Bowsers. Cryo Punching Bag says, another question. Will you make a McFarlane Space Marine? It's crazy fun and you can go all out. I
have one in my stash that I voluntarily bought.
Yeah, he did. I've got one here that I need to. I've got it. It's not. I've just got it out of the box. It's not actually been painted yet. I need to do it at some point. I've still got a couple of Funko Pop Space Marines as well that I need to paint.
Yeah.
I've not got round to that one yet. I'm not in a position to do any like modelling to it, like adding different pauldrons and stuff. But I'll just be painting it up straight. I don't know what faction to paint it as yet. Philly says, afternoon all, welcome Phil. I've just got my man cave and bench set up again. Took 2 months as the floorboards needed replacing, so I just redid everything. Wow.
Good man.
I'm going to reorganise my workbench. I'll have to build an extension. Paul Di Tommaso is in, says, hi Foxx, Colin and everyone in chat.
Hello, Paul.
Got a new motor?
How you diddling,
I can't
mate?
resist it when you say that.
Hello, Paul. Got a new motor.
Philly's delighted to be back at the bench. Max McGinn says, yeah, I love how there's more grots get killed by getting sat on by other orcs or used as ammunition or even food bench. Even food. And for bench and belly. Oh, hang on. Even food for bench and belly. Oh, right. Yeah, more grots get killed by their own side. More bang bang pew pew, says Paul, about your gun.
Yeah, it's just like fits on there like a glove, doesn't it? I like it.
Like a glove.
Like the old proverbial.
You keep your proverbial to yourself, thank you very much. Candygram from Mongo's in says, hello everyone, welcome Candygram.
Hello Jeff, how you doing, mate?
Got a new motor. Every time Candygram comes in, in my head I can just hear, Mongo is porn in Game of Life.
Yeah.
I love that film so much. Speedy Q8 says, belly latte and homemade baked New York cheesecake. Ooh, chiffon creamy loveliness, he says. Yeah.
Yep. You can have a spider pig for your trouble.
Ooh, was that a gluing thing, spider pig?
Yeah.
Are you super gluing things? Is that your two-part
glue? That's going to go that side because it's going to have the funnel in it of goodness.
Yeah, great big funnel. Do you know how big the funnel is yet before you glue that on?
Yeah, it's about 28 mil by 30, but I want to do it in such a way that the orcs didn't realise when they put the funnel on that if they turn the turret, it's going to hit it.
I like that. Or
because that's orc, isn't it?
Or how about they cut a dirty great big hole through it so they can point the gun through the hole in the middle?
Yeah, recess a chunk out of it. Yeah.
Because that'd be all. Because I'm looking forward to this.
Because it's like, well, yeah, we need it to turn around a bit more, so therefore let's notch a chunk out the turret. That one's going to sit that side. See, this
is what I love with you. You see, because I come up with like a dumbass idea.
Yeah.
Like stick a funnel on it, but then you're getting so into the orc mentality that you start thinking in orc ways about how it would work and what you'd need to do, and this is going to be in the way of that. But I think you really have embraced your inner orc.
It's cheered you up, no?
Oh God, because I just say stick X on it, and you come up with in like orc lore justifications for it. I love it. I think about 2 years from now you will have a gaming table downstairs, an entire orc battle force. I can see it.
Yeah, you'll be turning up for the weekend going, right, get that gaming table out.
Yeah. Somebody will get you the Orc Codex for Christmas and you'll be like, oh, now I know what I need to build. Oh.
Yeah, don't tell Max that I could end up with an Orc book. He'd be in his element.
Oh, yeah, but good thing is, though, if somebody gets you the Orc Codex, you can say to Helen, well, I have to build this gaming table now because I've got the Codex and I know how to build the army, so I need the table.
Oh, yeah.
And then, get your lad.
Dare I say it? I could just see it will happen because Lex wants to play the game. So
yeah, we need to get Lex to like build his own army of something, don't you? So
yeah, he's got a stash of stuff up there ready for me to build for him because he doesn't necessarily. Well, he said he'll build it, but he don't really feel that he can paint it. So
yeah,
I did say to him, just get yourself down here and have a go, mate.
Yeah, just like your workbench is there. It's an equal opportunities workbench. It'll let anybody paint at
Absolutely, mate.
It's actually sentient, your workbench. Yeah. It's alive. It only lets certain people sit at it and work.
Well, yeah, you've got to think like an orc, and mysterious things can happen in here.
Yeah, it's like because this is true to orc logic. Like orc technology can only be operated by orcs.
Yeah,
like if
you need to think that it's going to work and want it to work.
Yeah, so if I sat at your workbench and nothing would work because I'm not you, I don't think like an orc.
Right.
I'd be like, this workbench is rubbish. It's like everything rolls off and nothing turns on, and you're like, what? There you go.
Yeah,
I love this. This is great. You are basically an orc.
I am, mate. I am.
I clearly need to do it.
What would my orc name be?
Don't know. I don't know. We'd have to think about that.
Do they have names?
Oh, they do have names. Oh yeah, they have names. They're all names like I don't know. I can't think of any. Anybody in chat who knows orcs, put down some good orc names that already exist so we can get an idea for names. Like one of them's called. His surname is Git Stomper.
Oh right. Oh, well, there you go then. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I can't think of any apart from Gazgul Thracker, but that's not a funny name. So they've always got like slightly amusing names.
I will look out for it and investigate.
Yeah. Cryo says, my McFarlane is an orphan of war, got transparent fire effects for some psycho foolery. Hurt myself when doing the battle damage. Oh, don't do that. If you hurt yourself when you're doing battle damage, I'm not quite sure how you're going to do that, unless you're using flames.
Yeah.
Or high-powered drills. Max says those Baneblade sponsors were meant to be on the Battlewagon.
Absolutely, mate.
It was their destiny.
Fit like the proverbial glove, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Just cheers you up, doesn't it?
Like a ferret in a drain pipe. They fit perfectly. I don't know what that means. Eon's Car's in. Welcome, Eon's Car. Says belly choco crepe. Ooh, and for dinner, cheese-filled chili burgers and chips. Oh. Nice. Or as my niece who lives in Tennessee would say, chili dogs.
Chili dogs.
Chili dogs. And you know what chili dogs do? Chili dogs always bark at night. Oh no, he says chili burgers, but chili. And on the bench, nothing, says Eon's Car. Orc fans have a name for that mindset, says Cryo, about, being in the mindset of the orcs. He says, Git's proper orky.
Orkage.
Proper orky. Proper orky, you know what I mean? Yeah, that Git is proper orky. Yeah. Panzer Koenig's in. Bench, belly, bacon rolls, mug of coffee, bench, shiz, and a failed 3D print of a Core Vega. I've seen that failed 3D print of a Core Vega. Core Vega's brilliant. Aisha says Gork. Yeah. Oh! Candygram's done it. Candygram's done it straight away. We've got the name. Yeah. We've got the name. Festa Kitbasher.
There you go.
But Kitbasha. Kitbasher.
Yeah, sounds good enough for me, mate.
I'm Festa Kitbasher. I'm going to bash your kits.
I will bash your kits for free.
And then I'll give you a good cramping. Yeah. I can see I'm going to have to draw Festa Kitbasher now, aren't I, at some point?
Yeah, you're gonna have to do something.
Oh.
Of course, you'll be in your element.
Oh yeah.
You'll like.
My Orc Max says his Orc Pain Boy, or medic. Medic's called a Pain Boy. Is called Grizz Guts Face Biter.
Oh, like that. Yeah.
Model Maker Dave's in. Hey Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Got a new motor. Dave, I'm going to say that every time you say hello to someone, and it's never not going to be funny. Dave's only come in because we've got Baneblades and shiz going on. That's why.
Oh
he's secretly there looking at these Baneblades and Orc tanks going.
Yeah, he's in the hole.
I think he might be just quietly rubbing his chin in pondering and thought without realising it. He's there.
He was made to go on there.
He's there going. Wendy Hickson's in. Welcome, Wendy. Big hugs.
Hello, darling.
Dave says, Belly will be having beans, cheese and onions on toast. Ooh.
Oh, nice.
That's student food with onions.
He's good, isn't he? He has proper grub.
Here we go. Cryo the punching bag. Stabbed holes in my space marine using a fork. Stabbed my hand. Only cried for 30 minutes. I'm a brave boy.
Good man.
If you've got... if you're wanting to put holes in things, a much safer way to do it is to use a pin vise if you've got one. Where's mine? A pin vise would be... I've got the Games Workshop one, but it costs like £450, so I wouldn't bother with that. But you can get a pin vise for like a couple of quid. If I can find mine. Pin vise. Just like a little hand drill. You get different size bits and you just do it, do it by hand. It's a lot safer and you can get nice round holes. You can control it more. And they're only a few quid. It's a lot safer than jabbing forks and knives around. But yeah, get yourself a little pin vise. You can use drills and things as well, but I wouldn't recommend like big powerful drills because you don't, for little bullet holes and things, you don't need that. But yeah, get yourself a pin vise. They only cost a few quid. Much safer.
Always use a Dremel on a slow speed if you need to, because if you have it too high a speed, it will melt the plastic. Yeah,
if you've got a little Dremel, something like a little Dremel hand drill. The thing with those McFarlane figures, because they are, what plastic are they? I don't know if they're ABS, but they're like ABS.
Yeah, they're like a Bandai. Yeah, they're like a Bandai type plastic, aren't they?
No, they're softer than that. They're like I don't know if they're polypropylene or something. They're kind of like that bendy plastic.
Yeah, I've got one of them in my stash actually.
Yeah,
the old Space Marine.
Yeah, so if you're going to use any kind of automatic or electric drill on them, like Colin says, a massively slow speed, because with normal plastic you might melt it at a high speed, but with that plastic it might go all fibrous and filamenty, and it's a nightmare to sand. So yeah, go for it. Get yourself a cheap pin vise. Always great for bullet holes and that. And get yourself a selection of little drill bits from tiny to huge, and you can do all kinds of holes. I'll tell you what I found.
All kinds of holes.
Holes with an H. I'll tell you what I like doing as well, and I did this on the Ork Flyer. I got my little pin vise, I made some little bullet holes, and then I got a knife and I cut around the edges of them with a modelling knife carefully to make the holes look all like rough around the edge.
Yeah.
So on one side of the wing, it was a round bullet hole where the bullet went in. On the other side,
you had the larger, yeah,
it was all like that around the edges because it was where the bullet came out.
Yeah, the exit hole.
Yeah, but you should be the one talking about battle damage and stuff, Col, because you do all that stuff.
Yeah, I enjoy doing it.
What are your methods?
Dremel, and an engraving bit, a set of engraving bits. I've got tapered, really pointed ones. I've got the bulbous.
You'd say bulbous?
Yeah, you can. Don't know why I'm doing that because that looks so wrong. But you can get in there and wring its neck, you know, and
get
a good bit of battle damage going.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I always have a larger exit hole than an entrance hole.
I've heard that rumour.
That's what. Yeah. I'm trying to word it in a way that
don't even try.
Yeah.
I'm in the room. It's not going to happen.
On me for, but
it's not going to happen because I'm in the room.
It's one of them battle damage, you know. It's like real life. It isn't symmetrical, is it? It's random, and I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, isn't it? When they try to replicate battle damage, because they'll have parallel aligned bullet holes, and it's like in life they would be random, undulating and stuff.
I'll show you one thing that I like to do. It'll require drawing. You did it on your WAS bomb, didn't you? You did some battle damage, because this is the thing. If you have an happy accident, just bung a bit of battle damage on. Gets you out of a lot of holes. Yeah, there was a bit on the Ork WAS bomber where I masked off some paint and stuff and did loads of painting. When I pulled the masking off, it just ripped all the paint off and the primer back down to plastic. I'm like, oh, for crying out loud. And I really didn't want to have to strip the whole thing and repaint it, so I thought, well, that little patch there where there's like no paint and no primer, I'll just drill a dirty great big hole in its battle damage, and then I painted it up to look damaged. And it's an Ork vehicle, so... what I like to do... These palette pads are great for two things. One, it's a palette pad, and two, I can show you things when I draw them.
Yeah.
If I've got like a... You don't have to do it all the time, but sometimes what I like to do is, if I've got like any kind of hole or damage to a surface... What, like Colin says, what people tend to do is put like a bullet hole there, and then there, and then there, or like that, and they might just have that, and it's like, okay, that's fine. But what I like to do is, I'll drill a hole of a certain size, and then what I'll do is I'll think to myself, right, is this a bullet hole or is it an explosive shell? What is it? If it's something that went blam on the surface that radiated out, then what you can do is drill smaller holes around it, like that. And then when you do your weathering, just a couple, when you do your weathering, you could put a big dirty great paint chip round that hole.
Yeah,
like that.
I'm just going to bung your full screen, mate. So
yeah, go for it, mate.
And see what you're drawing, mate. Yeah?
Okay.
There you go.
So you might have your dirty great big hole there, and you put a big paint chip round it, like bare metal or whatever you want to do. And then what I like to do is put a little chip around these ones, but you want to suggest things flying away from the hole. So you'll do your paint chips, and you might have a little paint chip around that hole, and then gradually smaller paint chips, like that. And then do another thing here and have little paint chips there. And it just means, don't make them all identical, it just means you get this sense of things travelling away from the impact. Like that. Radiating out. So what you end up with, and you can do it if you're just doing paint chips as well, do a paint chip like that, and then do a smaller one, and have like little progressively smaller chips, so it suggests something skittered across the surface. And sometimes you might do a chip and a small chip and then like a little chip and then a line, and it just gives that sense of something's actually going across the surface of the model. It's not just going straight through.
Yeah.
Or if you've got, say, a surface that's at an angle and you want to suggest like a stone chip, something's glanced off it, you might have like a surface here like that. Like that on my tanks. Imagine you've got this surface here where it's angled.
Yeah.
And you might have a sort of teardrop shaped paint chip like that. And then a smaller paint chip and a smaller paint chip. And it just suggests something's gone but bounced back off again. So, like Cole says, you can just do holes like that, but it can be a bit boring. So try and put some dynamic life into your chips and your holes.
Trying to have a bit of ricochet in and stuff like that. It just gives it a bit more realism.
Yeah, and if you're doing like a Dremel, if you've got a Dremel and you want to do like, you don't want to drill a hole in the surface, but you want to suggest something's bounced off it and made a bit of a ding, you can just lightly get the Dremel and skitter it across the surface.
Yeah.
Like if you've got shakes, like me and Colin, you know, sometimes I get the shakes, but you can just hold it loosely and just go, and you'll get like a you get like a line of little dings in the surface that don't go very deep, but it looks like something's gone across the surface.
Oh yeah, it's the one time that me shakes can come in really handy is when you're doing stuff like that. So are you doing it's like, are
you working your model today, dear? No, I need to get my shakes up so I can do some damage. Okay.
Yeah.
So have a look at that. Get yourself a pin vise for doing little holes, but if you can, if it's something you can afford, have a look at a little Dremel. Ideally, I've got one that's just on or off, so it's not ideal, but you can get ones with speed controls.
Variable speed, and it's a godsend because I can turn it right the way down.
Yeah.
I'd literally just caress it across the model and it'll just gouge very tiny little bits at a time. So
Colin likes to caress his models.
I know, caresses it does.
What are you doing downstairs there, dear? I'm just caressing models, dear. Okay, very good.
I'm caressing a model. I can imagine, mate, the door would open on this man cave so quick I could like a fag on the hinge. Where is she? Where's who, love? You said you was caressing a model. Not that type of model, dear.
Have a big poster of Bella Emberg on the wall. That'll make her happy. She'll feel better about it.
Yeah.
So if you can get a little Dremel, don't use a big proper like drilling holes in your wall to put shelves up drills, because they're just far too powerful and they don't take tiny. If you get a little Dremel, you get it from craft shops and hobby stores and stuff.
Yeah.
Get one with a variable speed. I haven't, unfortunately, so you can go right down to slow speeds, and they really are great for doing. If you get one that's small enough, they can do tiny little drill bits that for tiny little holes.
Oh yeah.
You know. I know on Colin's stream earlier on, he was showing Dave Hunter put a picture up of some little tiny rivets, little metal rivets that you can add to models. And what you can do for things like that is to drill a tiny little hole and put the rivet in. Yeah. So it's always worth picking out, getting yourself a Dremel. I don't use mine very often.
It fascinates me watching them sort of things, because like you say, the drills are so tiny, drill bits.
But it's just great for all kinds of stuff. You know, you can get your Dremel with a knurled ball end, and you can run it across corners, and it'll give that kind of rough gouged corner. You might have a little corner here where you want to just drill a hole and make it all so it looks like it's just all kind of split apart. It's great. You can have a load of fun with drills. Don't use mine very often, but when I do, it's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah. Paying £400 for a pin hurts me more than the fork, says Cryo. £400? A pin vice, a little pin thing like that is like £2, £2.
£2.
Yeah, £1.50, £2. Get them from a craft shop, a couple of quid. Not that expensive. A Dremel might be, I don't know, £10 or £15 more, but a little pin vice.
Mate, a measure. I'm having that.
What's that?
You'll see when it's attached.
Ooh, what's in that tub that says eat me dates? I'm guessing not dates that you can eat.
No, it's bits that are 3D printed.
Ooh, I'm thinking about
things like my little shaman with his squig, that sort of thing.
I've never had a date. I mean, a date you can eat date. I mean, no, an edible fruit from the date tree, palm.
Quit whilst you're behind there, dear.
Yeah. Jacqueline Stevenson, welcome Jackie. She says, belly, chicken and vegetable bake, watching Colin and yourself on the big screen. What are you currently crotcheting, as my mum would say? She's doing a thing for... she's doing a Grogu, isn't she? And a thing for the cat.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
little Grogu.
For the cat.
Yeah. Max says there's some good orc names like Zogwarp the Grot Kicker, Zogger the Squig Biter.
Absolutely.
If you bite squig,
a fork.
I'm really loving Festa Kit Basher. That's just great.
Yeah.
Festa Kit Basher.
Yeah.
Max has got to go. He's going to be right back, but he's going to have belly chicken chicken. I'll start again. I'm going to be right back. Going to have chicken nuggets and chips with baked bean sauce for easy dinner, and bench waiting for the shade to dry on my 20 Primaris Intercessor Space Marines. Jolly good.
Oh, nice.
Have patience, let it dry. Don't try and hairdryer it. It'll make lumpy blobs and it'll be horrible.
Yeah, you don't want blobbing, mate.
I'm missing a comment somewhere because somebody replied to somebody and I hadn't seen the original comment. Foxx, you should say it every time except when Colin says hello, John. Absolutely. Yeah, if you say hello, John, I won't say got a new motor. But if anything else you say hello, I'll say it.
Any other name, it's got a new motor.
Yep.
There you go. Ork chain step for the back. See, simple but effective. You like, don't you? Look, that's it.
Get in. Where are we up to? Candygram says that failed Corvega print would be perfect for a build after its fusion core blew up. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dave says no Baneblade on Dave's bench.
He'll end up with one.
He will. It'll happen. Ian's car
things have happened, Dave.
Oh yeah. Ian's car says half dead tired, so I had a kip earlier and I feel a bit better now. Jolly good.
Oh, good mate.
Darren Edmonds says the right thing. He says, belly, Bombay, bad boy, pot noodle. Everything else is irrelevant after that. Bench, yeah, he says, Bench, looking at my new batteries not included robot family, trying to figure out what lighting I can do.
Ooh.
Talk to Colin about that.
Absolutely, mate.
I've not done any work yet. I'm reading all the comments.
Yeah, I'm not.
You're happy.
Massively done a lot myself. It's just like, yeah.
You're happy. You're just cracking on. I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can't stop reading the comments.
I'm happy. I'm just gluing random stuff to this, and it's still taking shape. It's like, yeah, bring it.
Candygram asks where he got the batteries not included figures, and Darren says they're 3D printed and he got them from eBay. Oh, I heard you say you paid $400 for yours, says Cryer. Oh no, like £3 or £4. They're like £2 or £3. They're not. It's not £400 for a little pin vice like that.
No, bloody hell.
No. Jacqueline says yes. Jackie says yes. She's working on the blanket for Sandy, her cat. Is that a cat or is that a dog? I can't quite tell. I think it's a dog. I thought it was a cat. You said it was a cat on your stream.
I thought it was a cat.
It looks like a dog. I think Sandy's a dog. Sandy's a dog's name, not a cat's name. I think Sandy's a dog. I think. Totally Scale Models in, watching on the big telly and the PC.
Hello, Steve. Hope you're all right, mate.
All right, mate. Belly will be chicken fajitas. Bench is masking, and more masking. Chieftain Tank Mark 10. That sounds like urban camo or digital camo.
Yeah, the one that Tony did. You know, the tack on.
Oh, yeah. Is it what you're doing, Steve? Are you doing urban camo or digital camo, or are you doing like the Berlin camo scheme? If it's lots of masking, it's going to be Berlin camo, isn't it, I reckon?
Yeah, he's doing Berlin, mate.
I guessed that with my brain.
I know, you're good.
No.
You really are getting good.
Yeah.
Not that good.
Paul Di Tommaso says, Arg, going to need an extension cord for positionable magnifying lamp. It's the problem with lighting, it always needs cables. Oh, Jackie says cat. Cat. That looks like a dog. That little picture looks like, it really does look like a dog. I'll see if I can...
Nah.
Oh no, if I zoom in, it is a cat. Okay. It's like... Look, you won't see it on camera, but that's what I see there. It looks like a cat, but if I zoom in, it's a cat. It looks like a dog. It is a cat. I stand corrected. Dave says, no, and no. Baneblade, no, never, not on Dave's bench, never, no, nothing, neither, no. No, murder. Hey, get off now. Hey, no, hey, murder. He doesn't say all. He doesn't say all of that. No, murder, get off, no. He's not from Liverpool, so.
Yeah.
Hey, don't do duvet, but do Baneblade, don't you?
I'm going to move that over.
Never say never.
Because I want to put that there. Because it's spikes.
Steve confirms Berlin camo. I guessed that with my brain. Right.
Oh, no, I'm so impressed with you.
I know. I'm going to do some work now. Steady now. Control yourself.
I am struggling to control myself.
Have you managed to have you strapped yourself in and prepared yourself?
I have.
Steady, Harris. In a family-friendly way.
I did actually want that to stay there, so I'll put that back where I had it.
Now the problem I've got here is that when I did the chipping on the tank, it was sponge chipping, the base chipping colour. But when I'm doing these stripes, I can't really do that because I'll get red and white chips all over the wrong colours. I'll get red on the white and white on the red, so I'm going to have to do it manually.
No,
it's not going to look
manual labour, Fox.
Manual physical labour. It's not going to look exactly the same, but I'll live.
You go careful.
Live. I know. I'm never careful.
Happy with that. Where can I put that?
I'm not really sure.
I'll tell you what, I'll wait until my funnel's on.
Always wait for your funnel.
Yeah. Because
I'm not sure which
grot behind it.
I'm not sure which colour to use for the light red chip. That might not be. That might be a bit too subtle. I was debating whether to go for a bright pink chip colour, but I think I should.
Candygram says, yeah, remember the old Apple Macintosh icon that looked like both a cow and a dog at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
It got nicknamed Dog Cow, and the sound it might make was said to be moof.
Moof.
Moof. Sounds like something I'd say. Moof.
Moof, get out of the way.
Yeah. What's happened? I got a zit on me moof.
Oh, it kicked me right in the moofs.
Yeah.
Couldn't move on that. So I've got to be super subtle with this chipping. I've got to make it so tiny that it matches kind of sponge chipping a little bit. And I'm using
Foxx
a real
doing subtle.
Well, yeah. The thing is, on these tanks, I've actually done the chipping so delicately that it's probably going to disappear when I start doing the weathering, which is a bit rubbish.
Yeah, that's been worrying you all along, hasn't it? That a lot of that's going to disappear.
I don't want it to look like I've not done any weathering, because that's just absolute garbage. Because of course I have.
Yeah.
I spent 100 hours weathering it. Where? Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the worst part in it.
I don't want it to look like I don't want
painting it to sell it, but you want it to look like it's, had a monumental lot of effort put into it, but you don't want to overdo it either because of the man hours.
Well, I don't want it to look like a £200 paint job, but I'm charging a lot more than £200 for it.
Yeah, exactly.
If that's how much I'm going to charge, Got to think of these things.
Yes.
Hey.
Rather you than me, mate.
Yeah. Now, as always, as with our streams, Like I said before, now that we're both painting, it is hard for us to keep an eye on chat because we're rubbish and we can't see anything more than about 2 inches away once we get going. So please make sure if you want to ask us a question, please ask us lots of questions in chat. We depend on you to give us stuff to talk about. But please either do @ModelMakingGuru, so it puts my name in an orange box, or do @Festa67's workshop. I think you'll still see that even though you're not active in chat.
Yeah.
But it won't auto-populate for them. Or just do a super chat with the dollar symbol in the chat window. That way you're also helping the channel out. But that way we can't miss your comment then. So if we do miss a comment, apologies.
Yeah, we say that with the utmost optimism that we won't miss it.
Yeah. I'm going to show the people. I'm going to go full screen for a sec. I don't know if this will come out on camera. But, you know, I was saying about making chips look dynamic.
Yeah.
For example, let's say there's a little chip here. Maybe this chip was caused by something. Oh no, maybe on this, because the traffic's going to go that way in it. So dirt and dust goes that way on the tank. Let's say we've got a little chip just here. I don't know if this will be on camera. We've got a little chip there where something's pinged off the paintwork. So what I'll do is I'll do a couple of extra dits around it, just to break up the edge, and then I'll do a line. I'll do a couple of tiny dots and then make them all closer and then end up with a line. And it just looks like I can build out the blob at the end, and it looks like something's hit the paint and then skittered off across it. There you go. And if I do another little line just off to one side, going the other way, radiating out from the centre, it looks like something's gone like that. I don't know if that will have come out on camera. It won't be in focus, unfortunately, but that's the kind of thing you can do. And of course, here I'm painting a light pink chip on a red background, and then in the middle of these light pink chips, I'll paint my dark brown rust colour. So this light pink chip will be it'll almost disappear. It'll be a fine line around the dark chip. So there you go. What are you doing there, Col?
I am gluing bits of plate on the side, all the greebles. All the little bits of metal plate, you know, with the embellishments on.
Embellishments, you say?
Yeah. So
You like a nice,
them on.
you like a nice bit of embellishing, don't you?
Yeah. Put that on. I don't really want to glue that on yet until I've got the funnel in place, because I know what'll happen. Yeah.
You'll be like, you'd be having to take it off again, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'll need to modify it for funnelage, and I don't want to have to do that. So
we've already
big gunnage can wait.
We've already done the crap. I need to take this off again thing once, haven't we? So.
Yeah, all about it. It was suitably modified, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of in the wrong place. I wanted to swap the turrets around, didn't I? And
yeah,
because originally he was on the back, and I just thought, no, I want to put a turret on the turret because, yeah.
You know what I can see happening in the future?
What's that, mate?
I can see you becoming like the Steve Monday of not kit bashing from scratch. Like he's the Steve Monday of Steve Monday obviously. He's the Steve Monday of scratch building. I can see you being the Steve Monday of kit bashing, that you spend weeks and weeks building these wonderful things up, but then never get around to painting them because you'd love building them too much.
The all stuff has enabled that childlike imagination that I've got to run a little bit wild.
But that's the thing. I think you're enjoying that bit more than the painting, aren't you? So
yeah, you know, it's just I know where I want it to go in my head. It's getting there, and then once it's there, I can then, you know, put some base coats down. But that's as far as I can go with that today because I've got the big funnel to arrive. So
yeah, right. So we'll leave it there then. We'll see you all next week.
I've put me sponsor bits on ready, so lovely. I can now do a bit on the rest of the truck. So
oh yeah,
me paint's down in a sec.
Ooh.
But yeah.
What's chat doing? Let's have a quick look at chat. Panzer Sandy is ginger and white Oh, yes, sorry. Jackie says, yes, Panzer. Sandy is ginger and white cat.
Oh.
Sandy is an acceptable name for a ginger cat, as is Claude Balls. Claude Balls. Wasn't that the name of the guy who wrote Tiger My Bed, In My Bed? What, Claude Balls? Philly says...
That was his name.
Philly says, almost forgot, Belly is triple cheeseburger from the Golden Arches. Oh, I've had that. It's really nice, actually.
Arches.
Yeah.
Underneath
the arches. We both timed it the same. Our bench is the Ork terrain from Kill Team. Jolly good. Casper for a black and white kitten, says a young car. Paul Di Tommaso says there's some batteries not included robot STL files on Thingiverse. Why am I not remembering batteries not included? Is that the one with Johnny 5? That's not that, is it? Is batteries not included Johnny 5?
I honestly don't know,
My brain's having a brain fart.
You having a moment, are you?
Yeah, is batteries not included Johnny 5? No, disassemble. Johnny 5 is alive.
Yeah, it might well be, yeah.
Awesome film with an exceptionally racist character in it, but it's still an awesome film.
Yeah, it's different times though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Right, we need somebody to play an Indian. Brilliant, we'll get a white guy. What?
Yeah.
Right, I think that's as much chipping as I want to do on there. I want to keep it nice and subtle.
Words I thought I would never hear in the same sentence.
Well, the thing is, I say them occasionally, but I never actually follow through on the actual doing. Because I say, I'm going to make this nice and subtle, and then I cover the entire thing in, like, vomit of chips and things. I need to show restraint this time, I think. If somebody wants to come and show me how to do showing restraint, I'll do it.
Yeah.
You'll find me underneath the
Cheers.
Cheers. I dragged it out there for you. I confused you.
I like the way you did that. Oh, cheers.
Oh, cheers. Haircut. See, I've got pink on the grey now. That's not good. Imagine, right, being your entire career as a musical act, and your legacy is that people only remember one song that you did in an entire long storied career.
Must be quite annoying. Well,
yeah.
They made a career off of it, but yeah.
I mean, you know, Professor Brian.
I think that we need to do the Flanagan and Allen walk round Telford.
Yeah. I mean, you know, hey, Professor Brian Cox doesn't complain.
No.
The one song the one D Ream song that people only ever remember.
Yeah.
Because frankly, I don't remember anything else apart from that one song. I just mentioned D Ream in a public live. Oh dear.
You did. I'm still sitting here wondering whether the severity of what you've just said is actually sunken in yet.
I know. I can't believe I actually. Yeah, it's not like I listen to the music, but
when you upload this, I think you might edit this bit out.
Yeah.
Just to preserve your own reputation.
Well, the thing is, though, there is a bit of a Hail Mary on this one because. Like, if you acknowledge knowledge of, say, a Britney song, that means you've listened to it and you're obviously, you know, got no taste whatsoever. But if you say, I know the only song that people only ever remember from D Ream, then you can say, and it's Tony Blair's fault.
Yeah, you got that. Yeah.
So I've got that bit of ass covering there going on for me.
Yeah, but you've used that to try and wheedle out of it, haven't you? Really?
No, not really. Those people not in the UK won't know, but when Labour got voted in 1997, they used "Things Can Only Get Better" by D Ream as their sort of anthem song for the victory. Yeah. So, thus paving the way for people of all ages to claim knowledge of that song without having to suffer it.
Yeah.
That was 23 years ago, dude.
I know. Nearly a quarter of a century.
I know. I left work I left school 31 years ago. Crikey, Riley.
Yeah, I left school in 1983, mate.
Oh, God. See, it doesn't seem that long ago that when somebody said, in the 1990s, and that was like just the other day, but now it's like when somebody says in the 1990s, it's like referring to the World War II in 1970.
Yeah, but you did it in the Frolic the other night. You used that immortal sentence. Before the turn of the century. Yeah, and it was like,
it does
we have lived through that, haven't we?
It does make you stop in your tracks, because like when I was growing up, when you said like the turn of the century, that was like you're going from the 1800s to the 1900s to the 20th century. You were going from Victorian to modern technology, but when you say now, it's just from 20 years ago. So it's like it sounds like you're going from like steam to nuclear fusion, but it's not. It's just like 20 years ago. Yeah.
It was in the last century I did that.
Yeah.
I was born in the last century. Oh my God.
What makes it worse for me is that when I was a kid, I used to play on these fields nearby, and it's all a housing estate now. So I can genuinely sit there and say, I remember when this was all fields.
Yeah. Oh yes.
God damn it.
It's how small this town was when we first came down here, and how it's changed. And it's similar thing, mate. It all was farmland back then,
Yeah, but that makes us really old.
It does, mate. But it's when you go back to your old manor and there's not hardly any of it left because it's all been knocked down and redone.
Yeah.
And it does make you feel old, but
it's progress, isn't it? I suddenly realised the other day, like in the back of my mind, when I see photographs of this area where I live when I was a kid, the first thing I think is, wow, roads were so much wider back in those days in the 70s.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I suddenly realised eventually it's not that the roads were wider; it's just that there were less cars.
Absolutely.
And like
there wasn't cars parked each side of the road like there is now.
Yeah, so it's like I can look at a photograph of the avenue where I live on now in the 1970s, and there might be like 3 cars in the photo, and it's just this open, expansive road in front of all the houses. And yet, of course, nowadays it's just cars back to back on both sides.
Look at the old footage that comes up every now and then of the motorways, and it's like 2 cars, and that's it. You'll see the car coming from about a mile away, and here comes a Ford Anglia coming down the M4. Yeah.
The funny thing is, though, you always see the shot of like an old Humber or a Ford Anglia or something going down the M1.
Yeah.
And doing like about 50 miles an hour. But what you know is that inside that Ford Anglia, there's a guy there with white knuckles going, ah! Because he's driving he's driving a Ford Anglia at 50 miles an hour, and it's basically certain death.
Yeah. And his foot is so pressed on the floor that there's a lump dragging along underneath where he's pushing so hard to get the car to actually do 50 mile an hour. Do you reckon he was wearing driver gloves with the tweed backing?
I reckon he probably had to change his underwear when he got to Fulton Services. Because that's the thing, those old cars, they could do 50 miles an hour, but dear God, you wouldn't want to do it. I mean, I know from driving my old Land Rover, it could do 50 miles an hour on a good day, but it was a terrifying experience.
It was 0 to 60 by Friday, wasn't it? Because
yeah, it was like I could my Land Rover could do like up to 50 miles an hour, 52 if I had the wind behind me.
Yeah,
but it's like it had drum brakes and no power steering, and it wasn't something you wanted to. And leaf suspension, like you get on model kits.
Doing a 3-point turn in an old car without power steering.
Oh God,
you had to have forearms like Popeye, didn't you? Because
when I got my Land Rover,
steering wheels.
I used to joke because like when I got my Land Rover for the first year, I had massive tennis elbow, and I used to joke that because it was the wheel like a 3 foot across wheel, like a bus driving steering wheel, and no power steering. I used to joke and say that I basically had to grow extra bones in my arm to turn it round. And you kind of did. Well, that's the pink chipping done on there. Pink chipping. What's chat doing? Let's have a look. No, it's not Foxx. Okay, battery's not included. Is that the one with that old fat bloke with the big moustache then, the American guy? Or is that Cocoon? That's Cocoon, isn't it? What's battery's not included then?
Yeah, I'm trying to think now.
I like pets named after the wrong animal, says Phil. Like dogs called cat, hamsters called alligator, etc. Yeah, if I got a dog, I'd call it cat. Or if I got a cat, I'd call it dog. Yeah, I would do that. No, Johnny 5 was in Short Circuit. That's it. What's batteries not included then?
I'm wondering whether that's one of them special late night films that you watch.
Steady now. Steady now. Hugh Gordon says he's got a friend with 2 cats, 2 brothers called Bob and Marley.
Oh, mint.
I used to have a sister-in-law 30 years ago, 35, almost 40 years ago, who had 2 cats called Fosters and Stella.
Oh.
She was going to call them Slap and Tickle.
Yeah.
But then she lived behind a primary school and she didn't want to go out in the garden and shout Slap and Tickle.
Oh, of course, yeah.
When she had to shout the cats in. Batteries not included is about a bunch of people living in a rundown apartment building that is to be taken down. Robot aliens show up and help to restore the building. People help the robots. Why does... I kind of recognise the film title, but I don't remember the film at all. That storyline doesn't trigger memory at all. The people help the robots.
No, it don't ring a bell.
No. Darren Edmonds says to Paul, I was just typing all that. Thanks for saving me the effort. How does Foxx not remember this film? It's a classic 80s masterpiece. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I recognise the title. I'm sure I've seen it. I just have no memory of it.
You might have been all loved up at the time, mate.
I know, but then again, a film being good doesn't mean I'm going to remember. No, not in the 80s, 90s. A film being good doesn't mean it's going to stick in my memory. For example, I still have strong memories of watching Howard the Duck, and that's not a good film. Hello, Mama Fox. I also have very strong memories of Battlefield Earth, and that is the worst film. Maybe that's just so badly remember it.
That's the one with John Revolting in it.
Yeah. Panzer says, I'm stunned you don't know if Batteries Not Included, a classic Spielberg 80. I will have seen it. I just have no memory of it. Oh, man. Like I'm saying.
Don't ring a bell.
No, the quality of a film doesn't mean I'm going to remember it, but I do. I think I remember seeing it. I just don't remember anything about it. Very strange.
Trouble is, there's so many 80s films that went over my head because I just didn't bother.
Yeah. I mean, it's more likely that I do know all about it, but I've since learned a new thing at some point which has pushed that memory out.
Yeah. A lot of 1980s cinema was quite bad, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
Oh, God, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There were some... it was a very musically type era as well, wasn't it? Because you had, like, the Fame movies, didn't you? And that sort of film.
I tried to ignore such things, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, it was just a strange decade for movies, really.
It was my least favourite decade.
Yeah.
Of all of them. It was, I'm not a big fan of the 80s. I've said it before, though. 80s and 90s are just like the least interesting decades for me.
Yeah.
Because, 70s, I was a kid. Everything was brilliant.
Yeah.
80s was secondary school. I hated it, so I hated the 80s. And also, nature says, now you're interested in girls, but you're also ugly and covered in spots for the next 20 years. Thanks.
Yeah.
So, 90s was, oh, God, I've got to get a job. So life became rubbish at that point.
Yeah.
2000s was rubbish for other reasons I won't go into.
Yeah.
But the 2010s was when it all started getting good.
Yeah, it's come full circle, isn't it?
Yeah, so like the 70s were brilliant. The 2010s, started off rubbish but got better. And now we're doing great because I'm doing this and this is my life now.
Well, this is it. I mean, that's where the 2010s stand out for me, really, because it let me get back into this.
Yeah.
Which takes us back to the 70s, because what was we doing in the 70s? building model kits.
Yeah, I was like, you know, from 0 to 9 years old, everything was brilliant.
Yeah, so
Playing with toy cars and making models to play with and just...
yeah,
you know what I mean?
We've almost, like I say, we've just come full chat now, haven't we? So yeah.
Any decade where you get overly excited about a chalk ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, if somebody gave you a chalk ice, it'd be the best day of the week. So any kind of decade where that's a possibility is just the best decade, clearly. Dee 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 dee. What you doing at the minute, Cole? What you doing?
Applying the world's worst applied first coat on a model.
Ooh, you're applying the
First coat
paintings.
is always the worst.
Yeah.
Now, bear in mind, it's been painted with a squig.
Yeah. Got a paint squig and a grot.
So, yeah. See, I am turning into Walk, aren't I?
Mm-hmm.
You're a bad man.
I am the bad man, and the baddest of mans.
Fully corrupted me into the life of Ork. But hey, you know.
Yeah, but you know what?
It's a nice place.
Yeah, but you know what? Dave is perfect proof that you've paid it forward, man.
Oh, yeah.
You've done exactly the same to Dave. And when he starts that Baneblade,
oh, it's going to happen.
he'll be cursing you.
Oh, yeah, it's going to happen. He says it won't. It will.
How little he knows right now.
Yep.
Easy now.
Yeah, bless him.
Every time he says no, it's like, I fear the lady doth protesteth too much.
Yeah. Like Dave.
I've seen to quote Prince, I've seen the future and it will be. I will never quote Prince again, then don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm beginning to worry about you now.
I wouldn't. There's much more important things to worry about. Probably. Although I am very important. So. I'm hungry now.
Darren Edmonds says he's just tried to share the trailer of it on the boomer. It might have worked. There you go.
Well, just post the YouTube link and there you go, done.
Yeah.
Obviously put some text in there as well, so, you know, we know what you're posting.
Underneath the
yeah. Cheers. Hello, Mama Foxx.
Oh yeah, Mum.
Oh, she got red phones,
darling.
She can't hear.
She's got headphones on.
She's got her headphones on.
Bless her.
Watching the telly box with her headphones on. Which is good because she doesn't end up deafening the neighbours with Poirot all day long. Midsummer Murders.
Yeah, she's a bit of a fan, isn't she, of the old Hercule Poirot?
Well, it's more a case that she's watching like ITV3 and she's not remembered yet how to change a channel.
Oh, bless her heart.
Or at least she struggles to see the button to change the channel.
Yeah.
So she's quite happy watching whatever.
One.
She's
remember once having that unenviable task of teaching my mum how to program a video.
Yeah. I never had to do that, thankfully.
Yeah, I was like, my God, man went to the moon. Yeah.
Well, Mama Foxx at one point when she was in hospital, she said, "We need a new TV." I'm like, "Well, okay, you're paying for it, so I don't mind. I ordered it for her." She's got a nice new 50-inch TV downstairs now. She said, "I want a 50-inch TV." Okay. You get what you want, your Mama Foxx. And, which was great, but it's a new Samsung. And the remote control is, to me and you, would be super streamlined and straightforward and simple.
Yeah.
Instead of having like 5,000 buttons on it, it's just got a little rotary button and like 3 buttons and that's it.
Yeah.
And it's dead simple to work, but it's all black.
Yeah.
So Mama Foxx is like, I can't see it. And I can't quite operate the rotary button because she's got, 100-year-old hands. She can't quite press one button and not 15 other buttons. So it's kind of, she can't really do much with it, which is a bit of a pain.
No.
But she also has, she insists on growing these silly long nails.
Yeah.
Which means when she wants to press a button, she can't press the button. She has to do like the heel of her thumb or the heel of her finger like this, and she can't press less than 15 buttons at once. And I say to her, if you didn't have these big silly nails, you could press buttons.
Yeah,
she's
didn't have robo nails, but yeah.
Yeah, bless her. But she's happy sitting there
and goes, they're my nails, and I'm keeping them.
Yeah, she's happy watching ITV3 because it's got things on it that she watches. And when I say watches, I mean she listens to it while she's on the iPad.
Yeah.
On Facebook, so she's not actually watching that much.
Mama Foxx on Facebook, brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
And just imagine the chaos she causes.
Oh, yeah. She's got a better iPad than I have. Cowbag.
You sound really excited.
She's had more game consoles than I have.
Really?
She got a PS2 when they first came out, and that was I'd sort of played on that for a while. Then I got myself an Xbox. Yeah. And then she also had a GameCube that she didn't really use very often. And then she kind of had a 360 and inherited my Xbox One when I got a Series X. But technically, she had a Super Nintendo. She had a SNES way back in the day. Because I wasn't into games. Yeah. She used to play Donkey Kong Country.
Legend. Absolute legend.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, all she actually plays, she's not been on it for a while actually, but all she really ever plays is Bejeweled.
Yeah.
Which is a typical match 3 puzzle game.
Yeah.
Well, she's happy. She's happy.
That's the thing, mate. As long as she's happy, that's all that matters for us.
Yeah, and I think I just heard her making herself a cup of tea, which is a good step.
Yeah, no, at the end of the day, Mum's happy. Yeah.
Yeah. Some people might not know, but she was very sick for most of this year, and she's still recovering. So, I've just heard her making herself a cup of tea, which is a great step forward for her.
She's done really well recently because, like you say, she's been up against it. Bless her. She had a tough year as Mama Foxx.
She had a difficult year this year.
She soldiered through it, mate.
Yep. Some things have now been fixed. So
it's been tough on you both, really. Let's be honest.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you know. But yeah, some things have been fixed now, so she's well on the road to recovery, hopefully.
It's a bit less stress for you as well, mate, isn't it? Because, like you say, you're going to be worried because she's your mum.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't want to see her struggling, and it's been a pressurised set of events for both of you.
Yeah, but it's, you know, and that's why I've not been making a lot of video content this year, because haven't been able to dedicate chunks of time at the bench. Live streaming is fine because I can always pause a live stream. It's not a problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but if I'm in the middle of filming something being painted, I can't suddenly stop painting it. Yeah. But that should change hopefully soon, so we'll see. We shall see.
Well, it's been good progress the last month or so, mate. And it's come round in both your benefit almost, hasn't it?
Oh yeah. Well, that's why the live streams have started slowly coming back now, because I can sit there and say yes. Now I can feel confident that I can take 3 hours at the bench.
Yeah.
You know, Mama Foxx can look after herself for 3 hours and make herself a brew. And, you know, eat 35 biscuits, which means when I make the dinner, she won't eat it. God damn it.
Yeah.
And the best thing is, she only eats rich tea biscuits, which are the most boring biscuits in the world. But to offset the fact they are the most boring biscuits, her biscuit tin is actually a Warhammer 40k ammunition box.
Oh, mint.
With like a big Imperial Aquila on the front, and it says plasma rounds, 10 times whatever, do not, you know, stable temperatures, whatever.
Yeah.
I think they were giving them away. They gave them away in Warhammer Day a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
So she's got one of them as a biscuit tin.
Oh, she's a legend. She really is.
Yeah. Right, that's the red chips. Red chips. What's that secret you're keeping? Speedy Curate says, Fame, a classic example of the worst of 1980s telly, says Panzer Koenig.
Yeah, absolutely agree, mate.
That's because Speedy Curate wrote the first few lines of the Fame song and is now banned from the internet forever.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, you will need to Google it, Foxx, says Paul. I will. I shall. White Gloves in, he says, hi all, I'm lurking, trying to clean up the workbench and office. Hope you're all having a magical Sunday fun day.
We are, mate.
Sunday fun day. Speedy Kuwait says, watched Shang-Chi last night. It was good and worth it alone for Morris and Trevor. What's Shang-Chi?
Never heard of it.
I don't know what that is. I recommend it if you like both Marvel and Kung... Well, Speedy Kuwait says, I like it if you like Marvel and Lung Fu. I think he means Kung Fu.
Yeah. Lung Fu's that famous one where he was chain smoking.
Oh, yeah. Candygram's got one for you. He says, Colin, brilliant. The worst paintbrush in my possession will henceforth be named the Squig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, mate.
For those that don't know, in Orc civilization, squigs are used for everything. They're not just creatures that run around with lots of teeth and kill the enemy. They're also food. They are all kinds of things. There's all different types of squigs. There's bitey squigs, bomb squigs. There's hair squigs. That if you ever see an orc with hair, orcs don't have hair because they're mushrooms. A ponytail on an orc is actually a hair squig. It's basically a little squig with a long tail that just clamps onto the skin. So it's actually a squig on the head. But when they do painting, they actually have a paint squig, which is both... It produces the paint from its body, and it also has a tail which acts like a brush.
Yeah.
So it's a paint squig. And it's usually they get the grots to do the painting, under threat of a beating. So yeah, your worst brush could now be a paint squig.
That's why you don't worry about too clean an orc paint job.
Oh, God, no.
You literally slap it on, mate.
Yeah, like if you're painting checkers on an orc vehicle, it doesn't matter if they're all wonky and everything, because it's painted by a grot with a squig. So it's kind of an excuse for being able to do bad paint jobs, basically, on orc stuff, if you want to.
Pretty much. Why do you think I chose orc?
Because I told you to. I didn't, but I suggested it. Oh, I've got a sniffly nose.
No, it's one of them things, isn't it, where the more I've done it, the more I think like an orc. It's like, yeah, that's what they would do. There you go.
Phil East, could you set up an iPad or phone as a remote, Foxx? No, I don't think so. You might be able to.
You can. I've got my phone as a remote for my TiVo box, but you can get universal remotes that you can program from the shop that I've got really big buttons on.
Yeah, I mean, the problem
all you do is you hold it opposite your remote, press the button, and it records the button stroke. The
problem with changing channels for Mama Foxx is it's not really down to Mama Foxx. It is partly. It's a Virgin TiVo box. It's Virgin TV TiVo box from like whatever 5 or 6 years ago, and it has possibly the worst design remote control in the goddamn world.
Yeah,
I mean, it is.
I've got one here.
I mean, let me diagram. Let me diagram you. It does my brain in because you get this stupid. It makes no sense. You get this stupid remote control like this, right? It's that kind of kidney bean shape. And then in the middle is this massive button there. And then up here, there's like a million little tiny buttons up at the top. And there's all other buttons on there. And there's one there and there's one there. Okay, this massive, enormous button that's bright yellow, and it's the most obvious button, is the pause button. You know, like your thumb would... I think Colin's probably gone to get it. Yeah. Where your thumb would naturally go to the middle button because it's like on a Samsung TV, it's the OK button for the menu options. Yeah, Mum's is just like an actual literal remote. But all the buttons up here are all the ones you want. Like, for example, the power button is there and it's green. It's a black button with the green power symbol on it. And it's like, hang on, when has any TV ever had the power symbol in green? What? And it's this tiny little button that you can't see. And it's a black remote with lots of black buttons. And Mama Foxx can't read what's on the buttons because they're too small. And the volume buttons are these little tiny up and down buttons. And none of the buttons make sense. It's like, there's a guide button in here somewhere, and I can't, it's like one of these little tiny. It's like, so to change channels, you'd have to remember to the buttons that. And it's like, why is this button pause? That's
there you go.
It's similar to that. It's almost the same as that, but that button in the top left, the little tiny green thing, that's the power button.
Yeah.
And it's like, why?
Pause in the middle. Yeah.
Which is where your thumb goes by naturally.
Yeah.
But you know, if it's dark and you're old and you can't read what's on the buttons, how would you even find that power button? It's rubbish. It's the stupidest. Oh, it makes me angry. So she can't really change because she can't see the buttons. So, bless her. Makes me angry sometimes, but she's happy watching ITV3. She's fine.
What I would say is, why don't you paint it?
I tried. Well,
just paint the buttons
on the TV remote, which is like a black thing with black buttons. There's only one button she needs, and because I turn the cable box on for her in the morning, so all she needs to do is turn the TV on.
Yeah.
So all I did was I got my white Uniposca paint pen and I painted that button white, and I put a massive, dirty, great big white arrow pointing to it on the remote control.
Yeah.
And I said, "See that button there? Yeah, that's the only one you want. There you go." Now there is a change channel button on that TV remote, which is great for Mama Fox, as it works with the cable box, but she can't, because of stupid nails, and she can't see, and it's a black button on a black background. She can't see it, so she's happy with it. She's happy with it.
Modern designs, they don't take into account arthritis and things like that, do they?
Well, that Virgin remote doesn't take into account any kind of sensible design either.
No.
It's like got 500 buttons on it. It's like, really? Why is the pause button the biggest goddamn button?
Yeah.
I don't know. And it wouldn't mind. It's got 2 radial dials on it, like yours had. It's got 2 radial menus. It's like,
Tell them, mate.
Paul Di Tommaso says, "Cool, my Amazon package just arrived. It has my wife's Christmas gift in it." Ooh.
Oh.
I'm not sure if I should have read that out loud.
Yeah, that means his missus is now frantically trying to distract him so that she can go and have a rummage at the Prezi.
Ooh, nothing wrong with a rummage.
A rummage.
Question for both of us, I guess. Cryo the Punching Bag says, "Do you prefer painting bigger models or smaller ones?" And also says that Shang-Chi is a Marvel movie. Oh, is it Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings? Oh, yeah, I know that one now then. I know that one. I've forgotten about that.
For me, probably bigger models because of my eyesight. You know, we are men of a certain age, aren't we? You know, so for me, bigger models. Because yes, things like the miniature figures and that, I struggle to see the really tiny detail.
I don't know, for me. Like, I quite enjoy painting tiny things when it works. But I don't enjoy filming tiny things because they're a nightmare to film because I have to get really close. But I don't like painting massive things because that's a lot of chipping, basically.
Yeah.
Like that 3-foot long U-boat. Oh, that was all manually painted chipping. I was getting bored by the end of it. But it's also it depends on the scale of the model, I think. I like to paint something where I can do like my chipping and weathering and things, like this kind of scale, 1/35th, 1/50th scale. These are kind of 1/58th scale ish. But if it's like a battleship, like a 1/700 scale battleship, I wouldn't, because I can't really do any weathering on that. You can't do chipping and you can't do much streaking. So I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on what it is, really, mate, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I like big models, but I don't have anywhere to put big models. That's the downside. I don't have a problem with tiny things, but I think for figures, I think things like the realistic scale, say Sisters of Battle, they're just on the cusp of being a bit too small for me to paint successfully. Deathcore I can just about paint, and they're kind of realistic size. You know, Deathcore are kind of that size figure, but they're just about on the cusp of what I can feasibly paint in terms of figures. 1/35th would be alright. But if it's a really heavily weathered thing, it depends again, because, I don't know, Imagine I was painting a 4-foot long model of this scale where I had to paint all the chipping. You get bored.
Mate, yeah, you'd be there forever, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would get bored. Depends on the model, though. I think you're right there. Speedy Q8 says you can get one for all remotes. You can also get ones geared to playing Dogtanian, one for all and all for one remotes.
Yeah. So he did there. He's good, isn't he?
Yeah. He says, I have to set up TVs for oldies at work. They should ship with 2 remotes, the big many button flash one and a standby channel up, down and volume down one. Yeah. It'd be good if I could somehow get or make a remote control that just had on, off, up, down.
Yeah.
And that's it. And just like a make one with 4 big buttons. That'd be great, because that's all she needs, channel up and down. But then the other thing is, there's like 300 channels on there, and she doesn't remember which one's which. And once she moves off from the channel she likes, it takes forever to find it again.
That's all I did with my mum. I just set up a favourites menu of her favourite channels and said, all you got to do, up and down. Job done.
Yeah, that's the downside though. She can't do the up and down because it's a radial control.
Yeah.
If it was buttons, up, down, left and right buttons, she'd probably cope with that, because it's a circle that you have to... Yeah. On the TV remote, it's like a circle, which is fine for us. It's like a D-pad, but... Yeah. Scale model ninjas in. Hey, Ross.
Hello, Ross.
Got a new motor.
Yeah, so you did it.
I did. Ha la 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 la. Right, let's do see if this white chipping works. Now I'm chipping white on white, which is why I gave the white colour a couple of coats of Agrax, but I don't know if I did enough. Let's find out, shall I?
We'll find out.
Oh,
Oh, it's that moment.
I might need another coat of Agrax just to darken it down even more. Because I know it's going to get weathered later, but
yeah,
if the chip colour is too similar to the base colour, then when I do the weathering later, it'll just look like brown chips with no extra white highlight. Let's do a little bit more Agrax. Agrax shade. I'll thin it there. I won't do it neat. Agrax shade. Bum 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 bum. Can't get it open.
Don't go licking the brush. We know how much trouble that gets you in. Don't go licking the brush.
5 Lamia mediums, 5 Labia mermaids. I don't know why I wiped the brush off, because it's Labia mermaids. It doesn't really matter. I'll do 1 big fat brush full of Agraculons. Doing it all off camera, of course. It's like a little pot of mud, liquid mud, or more liquid mud. Almost looks tasty, actually. It looks like kind of chocolatey coffee flavour, like a really thick...
no, don't, because you'll end up tasting the paintbrush.
I know, don't.
And that gets you into all kinds of trouble.
I know. See, Agrax Earthshade has a strong contender now, actually, I've discovered recently. Because there's a hair on my brush. Because... if you don't know, Agrax Earthshade is the worst thing you can ever put in your mouth. Well, probably not the worst, but... you know, like if you're a brush licker like me, if you get Agrax Earthshade on your brush and you lick it back without thinking, you only ever do it once. It really is the thing you only ever do once. Yeah. Because even Duncan says he did it once and that was it. Yeah. But although, having said that, Retributor Armour is a contender.
Oh, it's not new kid on the block.
It's not as bad. But Retributor Armour has that kind of lacquer paint taste. It's weird. It doesn't taste like an acrylic. Right. Like most acrylics don't taste of anything. But Retributor Armour just has that slightly solventy taste. It's like, ooh, don't like that. Don't like that. So yeah, it's a contender. But Agrax Earthshade. I strongly recommend everyone, if they've never done it, to lick the brush with Agrax on it once. Only once. You lick your brush to make a fine point.
Yeah, I can feel the complaints coming in now.
No, because it's a learning experience. It's like It's like when the Spartans threw their children into the forest naked and unprepared and said if they survive, then they're Spartans. If they don't survive, well, then something's eaten them and they're dead anyway, so they were useless.
Yeah.
So it's the kind of thing the parents should teach their children from a young age. Lick this brush and then explain to me why you're never going to do it again. Okay, Dad, thanks, Dad. I have had a learning experience and I appreciate it, but please don't hit me again. So, well, that's a bit dark. So I strongly recommend all of you painters out there, if you've never done it, do it at least once, and then you'll learn.
Never to do it again.
Yeah. I'm not saying you shouldn't be a brush licker, because I'm a brush licker, and it's part of the way I do things. It is the way I be. And there ain't nothing wrong with that now, no nothing neither. Obviously, I don't recommend ever licking brushes when you're using actual things like lacquer paints and enamels, because that would be stupid.
Yeah.
Because they are
open up a whole world of opportunities, isn't it?
This is, of course, acrylic.
Comfort.
Acrylic paints we're talking about, which are ideally designed to not be particularly toxic in small amounts. I mean, you wouldn't want to drink a load of acrylic paint because that would be stupid, but
yeah.
There we go. Wash of Agrax shade, let that dry for a minute. Hopefully when I put my white chips on it should be a little bit more contrasty. Won't be much, but it'll be a little bit.
Be enough though, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I just want the white to look dirty rather than actually weathered, because the weathering is later. I've got to let that dry for a bit now. I just want to tone the white down, because if you're doing chipping on white, you need the chips. Apart from the actual colour that's inside the chip, like rust or primer or whatever you want that to be, you need the highlight around the chip, and that needs to be white. So if your white is actually white, that's not going to work. Which is why you never really want to paint, if you're going to weather a model, you don't want to paint the white bits actually white.
No.
What's
It's
chat
a bit
doing?
like black, isn't it? The minute you paint black, you can't darken it. You can't.
Once you
weather
paint
it,
black,
do a
you
dim
can't
wash.
go back.
Yeah.
I just made that up. Yeah. If you want to do, if you want to have like any shadowing and anything like that on something black, you can't, because you can't get darker than black. So. What are you working on, Colin? What are you doing?
Painting.
Well
I
done.
suppose that was pretty obvious, really, wasn't it, Cole? Even for you.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I'm just putting a few different colour paints down, just base layers first.
Yeah.
Just to try and get an idea of where it's going in my head. So
What's your yellow?
What I'm up to. Yellow.
Which yellow are you on? Is it the...
I've done a little bit of your real yellow, and then once that's gone off, I'll go over it with the airbrush with some flash kits.
Ooh.
Or I could use, what's that one? I've got flash kits and phalanx yellow, as well as I'm trying to get it out the shelf, Cole. That one, what's that? Dawn yellow.
Yeah, phalanx and dawn, they're really good highlight colours when you're doing your dry brushing and stuff, or your chipping. They're the really light pastel ones, aren't they? I think.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
yes.
keep them for your highlights and your chips and stuff. They're really nice, then.
At the moment it's literally just base coats going down just to give it a bit of colour.
If you're struggling with the Uriel yellow as a base coat, you could try it with Avalanche Sunset first, just to block it out.
Avalanche Sunset. I literally have run out of just this morning.
Dope.
It's an empty pot. I've got some on order, mate.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, because that's a lovely base colour that's dead opaque. So.
Oh, it's brilliant as a base colour.
Put that under any other yellow, because yellow's a nightmare.
Yeah, it's a noticeable that I've run out because but when I get some more, I shall end up painting over that with some Avalanche Sunset.
Yeah.
Again, so. But at the moment, it's just distinguishing bits. And also, it's something to paint on the live stream.
I've always said, Colin, your bits are always distinguished.
Or a matron.
Yeah. Phil East says, Revell matte yellow aqua colour is surprisingly good. You've used the Revell colours, haven't you?
Yes.
I've never used them.
Yeah, Revell Aquas. I love the pot design. If Citadel done their paints in Revell Aqua pots, they would be on a winner.
Bit of a bugger though if you've got a paint rack that's round, designed for round pots.
Yeah, but I mean, I've got my Revell Aquas in a similar paint rack to what I've got my Citadel paints in.
Yeah.
Because I printed them myself.
Yeah, well there you go then, you see. You can print it yourself or go to Games Workshop and do one that costs like 400 quid.
Yeah, that's what I printed it. So.
I went to my local Games Workshop store once, and a long time ago they had this little workstation about that big.
Yeah.
It was basically a small work area and like a few like moulded in holes for paint pots. It was only like, just one piece plastic.
Yeah.
And it's quite handy, it's quite good. It's the kind of thing you can put in your painting box, your Citadel painting box, and you can take it wherever you want.
Yeah.
And they sold it, and it was about like 20 quid or something. And then they stopped doing it, and I went into the store one day, and he had a load of stuff in the back room. And I was like, "What's all that stuff in the back room?" He said, "Oh, we're just throwing all that. It's just crap we're throwing out."
Yeah.
He says, do you want anything? I said, "No, it was all like standees and stuff like that." I said, "No, it's fine."
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, I'll have that painting station there." He said, "Okay, you can have that if you want." So I brought it home.
Oh, nice.
And it turns out it was 20 quid when you used to buy them. Then they stopped making them years ago. And now they go for like 150 quid on eBay.
Bloody hell.
And it's the same kind of thing as the Humbrol painting station. It's just a plastic square thing that you put a little tiny cutting mat on. It's got some holes for the pots. It's like, really? People are paying silly money for that? Just get a pally with your local store manager. He'll give you one for free.
Mate, you'll be amazed what people pay silly money for these days.
Yeah.
Folks. It's shocking.
Question here for you, buddy. Darren Edmonds asks, what glue does everyone recommend for gluing 3D printed plastics? I think the plastic is PLA, or is that something to do with China?
PLA.
Yeah.
I use super glue, mate. Any CA glue. I've had mine. I've glued them together with just standard Gorilla super glues. Any CA glue will do it, mate.
Would it work with epoxy glues?
Yeah, epoxy will do it, but I tend to use epoxy glues for resin prints, and I use the super glues or the CA glues for the plastic 3D prints.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I use, and works for me.
What if it was something that required structural strength, though? Would you go for the epoxy for that, though?
I would go for the epoxy,
yeah. Just in case Darren doesn't know. CA glue is fantastic, but very, very brittle and can't withstand shock. So, as you'll know, if like you want to, let's say you're painting a little miniature figure and you want to put it on a little base to paint it, but be able to take it off, you do a little tiny touch of super glue, paint him and then snap him off. CA glue's great and grips like a leech, but it doesn't grip for long.
That's right. Decent epoxy will do it.
Yeah. So if you're building something that's like, if it's like a figure or little things, like Colin does, just super glue it. But if it needs some structural strength, like it's, I don't know what you do. Like say you're building something that has to support its own weight. Like say you're building an Imperial Knight figure or something. It's got an arm that needs to stay in place.
Yeah.
Super glue might just snap. So.
Yeah. I mean that's a plastic base and a resin figure, but it's epoxied to it.
Yeah.
Because it needs to stay on it.
Yeah. So super glue and epoxy. Kind of the same as it's the same as resin kits, isn't it? Basically, same kind of thing, same principle.
Yeah.
Or I would assume Plastic Magic might work for PLA.
Plastic Magic will do it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want delicate gluing, if you can get some Plastic Magic, Deluxe Plastic Magic, that works on most plastics. It's like extra thin, but it works on most. Might not. It says ABS, styrene, and plastics other glues cannot. Nice.
Oh yeah, PLA's PLA. It'll glue an it'll glue an ABS print, but yeah, PLA one it won't.
All right.
Say CA glues or super glues will do it.
Yeah, go for your CA or epoxy. Candygram says he doesn't say that. That was me. I haven't trumped yet, by the way, just so you know.
I know, I'm mightily impressed with it.
I did like the fact on when you were doing your stream earlier and you showed the link to the Friday Frolic. And I don't know if it was Paul Ditter or somebody put a comment, it might be Phil Bolton, saying, I hope there'll be no
trumping.
No trumping this time. And I was like, I thought to myself, yeah, that didn't last long, did it?
Yeah.
I'll always trump on somebody else's channel.
Yeah, but that was good trumpage.
That was good trumpage. Candygram says another way to join 3D prints made of pla. I know it's not pla, but I like saying pla. Set is. I'll start again. Another way. You can read it out if you want. My mouth stopped working.
Thermoplastic, as it is, you can sometimes warm up the two parts, flame at a distance, and press them together until the plastic cools. Or you can do what I use, which is one of these, and it's a USB soldering iron, but with a spoon bowl, and you can weld the plastic together.
What's it got on it, Carl?
It's got a tit on it.
No. Just say again what you said. What you said it was.
It's got a spoon.
Spoon bowl. Just say spoon bowl again. Go on.
Yeah, spoon bowl.
Just say it again. Go on.
Spoon bowl. Spoon bowl.
No one can ever say that word now unless you say it. You need to say that every time. Spoon bowl.
And that works just off a little USB.
If you are heat joining PLA,
yes,
with flames or otherwise, is that a concern for fumes?
No, it's biodegradable, mate. It's all made of biodegradable shizzle. Fumes wise, yeah, the usual. You know, have a filter or mask on. Yeah, but
I mean, not that you really be doing that much, but I know in the old days, like when I used to
it's got
make filaments for aerials and stuff, you'd have to. Yeah. If you're doing a lot of it, maybe wear a respirator. But if you're doing a few bits and bobs, it probably doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's not one of those really toxic things, but you wouldn't want to be sitting there melting plastic under your bugle all day, would you?
No.
Whiff a bit.
Cryo says, is resin really that cheap? You always see the printed 2,000-point armies and they go, yeah, mate, it was like £4.
It's 30 quid for a litre, and you probably use about 4 mil per figure. So, yeah, it can be that cheap.
He also says 14,000 point Tyrannid army, £0.50. If you don't know, Carl, Tyrannids are like what are called blob armies, the ultimate blob army.
Yeah.
Where like an Imperial Guard, you have a guardsman who's worth like 1 point because he's rubbish on his own. So you can have like 1,000 of. If you've got a 2,000 points army, that could be 2,000 Imperial Guardsmen.
Yeah.
Tyrannids are similar. Like if you've got a Tyrannid army, you want like millions and millions of the grunt troops because they're just worth nothing.
Oh right, yeah.
So if you have a Tyrannid army, you've painted like 1,000 figures.
Oh, don't.
So yeah, 14,000 point Tyrannid army, 50p. There you go, in resin. But that's one of the questions often asked, isn't it? Is 3D printing a threat to things like Games Workshop? It's like, well, not at the minute.
Not really, no.
It's not got the quality.
I don't think it'll ever replace it.
I mean, it's not quite got the fidelity and quality of proper injection molded plastic.
It depends on what print settings you're using. I can print at a really fine setting.
Yeah.
And, you'll have a totally flawless figure with eyelashes. You can see individual chain links, stitching on the clothing, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Depends on what settings you're using and what it is you're printing. But a lot of people just use the default printer settings, and that's where they go wrong.
Yeah. If you're doing it at those maximum settings, does that use more resin? Is that more expensive?
If I'm doing what?
If you were doing something like that at maximum settings, would that be more expensive because you're using more resin?
No, the only increase is in time.
Yeah.
So instead of it taking 2 hours to print, it might take up to 10 hours.
Yeah.
Because you are printing at sort of 0.5 of a micron almost. It's really fine details.
So it's really a choice between go out and buy the box in half an hour of figures or spend 2 weeks printing them.
Absolutely. It depends on what you want to do. But I've always said 3D printing won't replace model kits because, to sit and 3D print a full-size model kit will take forever.
Yeah. I mean, eventually it'll get to the same level of quality, I would suspect, as, say, injection molded plastic. But then you just get the manufacturers releasing their kits as either injection molded plastic or STL files.
Files, yeah.
Yeah,
you can buy STL files now of kits, and things to make. But
I mean, don't think for 1 minute that eventually Games Workshop won't get on the 3D printing end of the market and start charging for their 3D print for their models.
Yeah,
because of course they will.
I mean, at the moment, there's an underground community that basically does knockoffs of it, you know, and Games World do shut a lot of these places down.
Games who? Sorry,
at the
Games.
end of-
Games who?
Is it Games Workshop? Is it?
You said Games World again, didn't you?
I don't know, mate. Play it back. I've got no idea.
Yeah, you said Games World. I love the way you say that.
But yeah, he corrects me on everything I say, doesn't he?
No, I like it when you say Games World. It's dead funny.
But yeah, I've lost my train of thought now.
I'm just doing my job, man.
But yeah, I don't think it'll ever replace it.
No. Like I say, if it got that good, or if it do, when it gets that good, they'll just release files for people to print. Games Workshop won't miss out on a trick.
No.
If they can sell you
a long
kit,
way off though.
yeah, if they can sell you a kit for 30 quid or sell you the printable file for half that, then they're going to do that rather than you go off then and find the file from somewhere illegally free. They'd rather just take the 15 quid off you and give you the file you can print yourself. Of course they will. But I think most model manufacturers right now don't see it as much of a threat because it's not. No. For most people, it's not at that level yet. So.
Well, it's the time as well. You know, it depends. I mean, I've printed figures that are comparable to what you could buy in the shop.
Yeah.
I.e., like 1/10 scale size busts. You know, I've bought these in the past, and that's as good a quality as what I've bought. But that's at that size. But when you go right down to Warhammer army size, you've got to take into account that the resin is brittle as well.
Yeah. So there's
a plastic figure you can sling about, throw in a tub, carry it here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, and you've got to, you know, I suppose all those kind of considerations, but it's swings and roundabouts in it at the minute. It's not a threat right now.
Absolutely. But yeah, I don't think it'll ever fully replace scale model kits or games workshop stuff.
Good lad.
It's you know, it's sold for a reason, and that is the quality. It's like Bandai. You wouldn't be able to 3D print a Bandai style kit because for them it costs some pence to make. It would cost you a 30 quid bottle of resin, so you're still paying the same, really, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. Plus, a lot in that Bandai stuff, a lot of it's so complex you couldn't really print it anyway.
Yeah, and you know, you've got the cost of the electric. So personally, I don't think it will replace it.
Darren then says, thanks, I'll try the glue first, but for some reason I'm always drawn towards heat, flames and fire, so anything might happen.
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Paul DiTomaso says, Games Workshop would never sell STL files. They know that as long as they can take you for all you have for kits, they will continue to do so. I don't know. I think if it got to the point where they were just making injection molded kits and people were downloading illegal 3D files of their kits that are in existence, I think they'd want to try and they'd still have the market of all the people that don't have 3D printers, because there'll always be people who don't have a 3D printer and will never get a 3D printer, and they'll always capture that market. Like for young kids, they want to get the young builders. The reason you've got all these contrast paints is to get younger builders into the game. That's why. With the Games Workshop, it's all about getting people into the game, because then once you're playing the game, you need to buy the kits. So,
as I've said many a time, 3D printing isn't for everyone.
No. So they'll always have like the younger builders who will never be able to 3D print stuff until it becomes a machine that you plug into USB and press a button and it prints things magically, which will be a long time off. They'll always have the people that can't do 3D printing. But they won't want to pass up all the people that are downloading all the free stuff illegitimately. So what they'll do is they'll say to people, well, you could go on Thingiverse and you could download this knockoff, you know, Deathcore Krieg Trooper, which doesn't look great because it's not been designed by us. It's some bloke making a 3D model of it.
Yeah.
Or you could buy our version, which is going to cost you 15 quid, not 30 quid. It's going to be half the cost of the real plastic thing, but it's going to be much better because it's designed by us.
This is it.
And they won't want to pass that extra money up.
A lot of it, like you say, does rely on the quality of the actual STL file you're downloading. Now, you know, there are some sites out there where the designers that are designing the files are top-notch designers. Really are, you know, intricately crafted files, whereas others are very sort of 16-bit games console blocky, you know. So You've got to take that into account and know what sites you're going to get decent files from.
I mean, from a realistic perspective, GW will know that there'll always be people who don't want to pay for stuff, and they'll go for the free option. And they're never going to get them. So there's nothing they can do about that. They will also know that there are people who get the free stuff because they're printing it, but they really want the high quality from the real thing. But they maybe, you know, they can't afford 90 quid for a Baneblade.
No.
But they can afford a free Baneblade that someone's put together on Thingiverse. Or maybe that person could afford half the cost for a printable Baneblade. So it's not so much that they're trying to compete with the free stuff, because they're never going to get the people that want free all the time. It's a bit like video games where people will put all this like anti-piracy stuff into their games, but it would make the whole process so fiddly for people who just want to play the game, because it comes into like protection methods and stuff that mess things up, that a lot of game developers now just don't bother.
No.
Because they know they're not gonna snatch the people that want it for free. They're never gonna get them. But at least the people who want a game with no DRM involved and making things not compatible with different graphics cards and causing problems, they're going to get the people that are going to pay for it. And I think GW would realise eventually that they can get some more income. They'll always have their plastic kits to be sold, because there'll always be people that want the plastic kits. So it'd be an extra income stream for them, and I don't think they'd turn that down. Once it gets to the point where 3D printing is as good a quality as theirs, I think they'll reassess it and say, you know what, we'll make it available to those who have the printer. Because like Colin says, not everybody will have a printer, so they'll still get the proper. They'll still get the proper people going into the stores and buying stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, don't forget, the other thing, of course, is you can't go into a Games Workshop store or tournament with 3D printed stuff and play it.
Exactly.
So, you know, but that's a tiny bit of the market. People actually want to pay proper official games. But I think they'll do it eventually. But like Colin says, I don't think 3D printing's a level right now that it's a threat to them. They don't need to.
No, I think you're looking at least a decade of development.
Yeah.
Where it becomes a bit like the home PC, where it becomes so mainstream and so good out of the box that then, they'll look at it. But
once it gets to the point where, you know, I can set up a 3D printer and get flawless prints, then, you know, it's come home to roost. Because right now, the way I work, when I get a device, I plug it in, I turn it on, it works. Anything more than that, and it goes back to the shop or goes in the bin. Yeah. I spent a month reading up and panicking and sweating and worrying about my Elgato capture card, because I thought I want to plug it in. I want to plug the Xbox into one end and plug it into the PC and capture footage from the Xbox. I want it to just work. And thankfully, it did. But I spent a month reading things and facts online before I got it to find out how easy it was to set up, because I can't do stuff. I'm useless at setting stuff up. And if it involves, like, this is why I don't do a lot of PC gaming, because if it involves things like downloading patches and reading facts and changing file, no, I'm not going to do it. I want to plug things in and they work. And I've not got a 3D printer for a number of reasons, but one is I'd be like, send it back to the shop, it's too complicated, I don't understand it. Because I'm an idiot, I don't understand this stuff.
It's like the Elgato Stream Deck, isn't it? I mean, we've all got them, and they are a bloody godsend, but to the layman, they're a nightmare to initially set up. But once you've got them going, you know, you pick it up quite easily. Yeah,
but I mean, I hate learning new stuff because I'm useless at it, and I panic if I think I'm going to have to learn how to do something.
Yeah.
Because I'm not technically minded. So for me to like have to set something up, it was a miracle I figured out how to do streaming, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
But so a 3D printer for me is like, forget it. If I have to, if something means I have to go online and find a source to read why something isn't working the way it should, I'm already bored of it.
Yeah.
So
it's like Slobs and StreamYard, isn't it? You know, StreamYard works for people because it's a one-click browser app, whereas there are a lot of us that love the diversity that Slobs gives you, because you can infinitely customize it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, so it has got that appeal to it. But
But even with slabs, I found myself having to go online and read how to do stuff because some of it it's not intuitive, and that. But I had a motivation to do that because I really wanted to be able to do good streaming. So I wanted to do live streams, and I had no choice. So yeah, I think GW eventually would embrace it if they had no choice, if it became a threat.
Yeah.
Because
I don't think it's a viable threat yet, is it?
Yeah, and for no other reason than it's a revenue stream they'd be missing out on, and they don't want to do that.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. They're in it at the end of the day to make money, and at the moment, they wouldn't make money out of downloadable STLs because the serious gamer knows that 3D printed stuff isn't playable. So anyone that wants to play the game for a start isn't going to bother with it.
Well, it's only not playable in official tournaments, which... Like 0.001% of the game population will actually be interested in, but you might you might not be able to play at your local Games Workshop store. But again, that's a tiny percentage. But I don't know. I think they would eventually when they realised it was an entire revenue stream they were missing out on.
Yeah.
But I think even then it'll still be a long, slow process.
Oh, blimey, yeah.
And a lot of people will be like, well, I can just go to the shop or I can just go online and order this kit and it's there and I can build it and done. There you go.
Yeah. I think GW would need to, probably to stop it or compete against it, would have to look at their pricing. And I don't think they're prepared to do that.
Well, no, because it works very well, thank you.
Yeah, and that's the thing that puts a lot of people off, is you can pay a big price for something that is actually quite a small piece.
Yep.
And it confused me when I first started doing Warhammer, because I'm like, well, I bought this kit and I got all of this, and yet I've paid twice as much for this one, and I only got that.
Yeah, but that's because you approached it at those days, like most people, you approached it from a traditional modelling thing where more money equals more kit.
Yeah.
And more plastic.
It doesn't work like that.
Nah. That's the beauty of it. Oh, beauty and not beauty both at the same time.
I think that's what puts a lot of people off initially, though, isn't it? Is that confusion, because,
Yeah, if they come to it from traditional model making, they'd be like, what? But of course, if they've come to it without that background, if they've just come to it from tabletop gaming, they wouldn't question it at all because that's all they've known. Yeah,
they're going to be used to it through, I suppose. Is the D&D stuff a similar thing then, where that's priced like that, or is that
I don't know, because D&D's different. I don't think D&D works off points. I don't actually know.
No.
I think any kind of game where each unit has a points value will be probably roughly the same.
Yeah.
Because it's purely based on, if your game's based on having an allocation of, say, points or whatever, then, like I said before, if you've got a 2,000 point Imperial Guard army, that's 2,000 Imperial Guardsmen. Or, so you don't need to charge a lot for that, because they'll need to buy 2,000 of them. Or, it might be 3 Imperial Knights is also 2,000 points. So I'm going to buy either 2,000 Guardsmen, so you can charge less for them, or I might only be able to get 3 Imperial Knights, so you can charge more for them, because I'm not going to buy a lot of them anyway. Because a knight might be 500 points and a guardsman might be 1 point. So, but then it can get.
Of course, I'll find all of this out when I get my gaming table.
Yeah, when you've built your 6x4 gaming table. The H hasn't realised that yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
But you've already made that space in the sun lounge, haven't you? In the sunroom.
I might have given it a bit of thought, but
you might have had conversations.
Oh, no, I haven't been that brave yet.
Don't forget, of course, you've now got Lex to use as emotional blackmail. Well, you see, Lex wants to play the game, and I can't refuse. I can't refuse that.
Yeah.
But if we're going to do, you can say to her, I can't go out to the store and play, so I'm going to have to build a 6x4 table and then buy all the terrain and stuff. And
can play in the safety of our own home. Dear.
Yeah, and just say it's not for me, love. I don't want to do it. I really don't want to do it. But I can't refuse Lex. Sorry.
Do you think I could sell it with the occupational therapy?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because you have to walk around the table and move things with your hands, and you have to look at things with all the eyes on your face and things.
Yeah, occupational therapy.
You've got to, you've got to roll the dice. You've got to be able to...
Just imagine the answer I'll get.
You've got to be able to flip through the codex every time you take a move, because you've got to look at one little tiny bit of data that you've forgotten, and you don't know what page it's on, and there's like a 500-page book.
I mean, a game must take forever if you've got to sit there every time you throw the dice and go through the book to see what you can do. That must drive people nuts.
No, the way it basically works is... I don't know about 9th edition. I've not really read up on 9th. But the way it basically works is that you have like the movement phase, the attack phase, maybe some magic phase or whatever. But basically it's not as complex as it seems, because if you've got an army, you might only have like 3 or 4 different units. Yeah. So you might roll the dice. You might have like 20 Imperial Guards dudes that you'll say, right, I'm going to move them over here. I'm going to move them over there because they can move this far. Then I'll roll the dice. I'll do the firing phase. So all of these guys are going to fire. You roll the dice.
Oh, right, yeah.
You've got 5 dudes. You roll 5 dice. That number on the dice tells you how many of them actually hit the target.
Yeah.
And then you roll again to see how much damage that hit does.
Oh, right, yeah.
And that's it. The only thing you have to look, the only things you have to look up are any things like special rules, or if can this commander give an order, and what could that order be, or what happens if X, Y, or Z happens, or how far can this move. But the thing is, once you've played an army for a while, you get to know all that anyway.
Yeah.
When you play against someone who knows their beans, they never look at the codexes because they know all the stats for all of the individual units.
Yeah.
But what you do find is, if you play against someone who doesn't know your army, because if you're playing Ork and they're playing, say, Tyranids, they might not know anything about Orks. So there'll be a back and forth discussion, because you might say, well, my guy's going to do this and this happens, and they might say, well, wait, is that something they can do? And you'll be like, yeah, and here's all the stats, and you can have a look.
Yeah.
Or, you both know your own armies, but you don't know how they work against each other, so there might be certain rules about Orcs fighting Tyranids. So it's not that complex, but it is handy.
Rumour has it, says Felice, that GW are not releasing the Battle Forces boxes this Christmas. It's a shame, as he usually gets one and it lasts him a few months.
Yeah, I assume it's probably just supply and demand for that.
That's where a lot of it's the problem at the moment, and it is supply, getting older stuff.
Yeah, Battle Forces are quite nice because you get like a box of 5 dudes.
Yeah.
Or then you've got your Combat Patrol, which is a box of, say, 15 or 20 dudes with some, it's like buying a force all in one, like they start collecting stuff.
Yeah.
Combat Forces are like a bigger version of that. So you might get like 3 tanks and a load of dudes, or you might get 4 vehicles, and it's like a larger... And they tend to release them around about Christmas and do them for like a month, and then they stop making them. They go out of print. And you get like Imperial Guard. It'd be like a couple of Lehman Russes and a big tank, and then some other bits and bobs. It's quite good.
Yeah. Max is saying, for beginner purposes, to play 40k, I would play either 500 points to 1,000 points a game. So it's easy to learn the fundamental of the base core rules of the game as well as your faction. There you go.
Yeah.
Have you had that book out again, Max? Is that what you're
up to? But that's the thing. When you start out, you can start out with just a squad of dudes. Like you can have 10 Space Marines, and the other guy can have 10 Orcs. And it's a skirmish. It's a small scale skirmish, and that gets you to learn the movement phase and the shooting phase and the other bits and bobs and your psycho phase and stuff like that. You learn the basics of combat, and then what you'll find is you do get like a rule book, which gives you the codex gives you kind of, I can't remember how it works now. The rule book gives you the basics of play. Because you'll have to play, you need 2 books: the rule book and the codex for the faction you're playing. And the rule book gives you the basic structure of how the game works, just top level. The codex then gives you all the extra things that your specific faction can do on top of those rules. So it's a good way to learn on a small force and get yourself bigger. Like, you get yourself a squad of 10 Space Marines, get them painted up and start playing them, but while you're painting the next lot of stuff, you can still be learning the basics.
This is a very stealthy way of getting me to do a gaming table.
Yeah.
I know what you're up to.
Now the question is, for your gaming table, what landscape would you make it? Would it be like all industrial with ruined buildings and pipes and tubes and industrial stuff? Would it be?
Can you have different zones where you could have an industrial zone or a different?
Yeah, you can actually. I mean, you can make it however you want.
Damn, I'm asking questions about fucking.
I know.
About gaming tables.
No, you can literally make it whatever you want, but
yeah,
you could do it however you want to. GW do a lot of terrain, but other companies do lots of terrain and buildings and things. But you can do it whatever you want. It's just a big diorama.
Yeah.
But it's interesting if you put lots of buildings and things in, because then you've got the verticality. You can have troops going up and down, and you can have snipers up in towers and things like that. If you just do a nice rolling landscape with one tree in the middle, it's like there's no cover.
Yeah, it'd have to be something diverse, with different zones.
Yeah.
A bit like the Crystal Maze, you know what I mean? You've got your industrial zone.
Would you stop the fans, please?
Yeah, futuristic zone and all of that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. But I mean, that's like the Games Workshop terrain pieces you can get, some of the industrial stuff.
Yeah.
It's great because it's all like walkways and catwalks and buildings and tubes, but it's all modular.
Yeah.
So when you eventually go to Warhammer World, they might still be there. There's a diorama, and it's like set in an underhive, and it's all this massive like tower of walkways and tubes and catwalks and pipes and walls, and it looks massive, and it's all complicated, but it's literally about 6 different pieces of terrain all just modularly put together.
Yeah, I do like the sound of.
So it's like the walkways always fit together with the building pieces, and they always fit together with the pipes and tubes, and there's loads of them. And they even do these like big square plastic plates that you can put together to make a landscape floor, like with grids and roads. Yeah. But you don't want to buy them because that's like £200, and it's just a load of 2-foot square plastic flat bits with some terrain moulded into it, so it's not really worth it. But yeah, it's just a big diorama. Make it whatever you want. But buildings are always a winner. Buildings are always a winner because you get to build loads of buildings and weather them. And also you can put people in them, and it's more exciting.
Well, yeah, it's just got an appeal to it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, yeah. Let's have a look. I'll have a quick look at chat. Cryo says quids, as in, the currency amount. Quids are so alien to me. 1 quid is either $18 trillion or worth a small coffee. Its value is constantly changing. That was a rank burp. 1,000% inflation every day. Think of a quid as a dollar. A quid is quid is £1. It's a pound. So they do go up and down, but if an Englishman says that'll be 15 quid, then typically it's going to be around about $20. It's usually around about. I think the worst it ever gets is about half. So it's either. If I say something's 10 quid or £10, you're going to be $15 to $20. Yeah. It's only rough because it does vary. But yeah, quid just means pound. If you're Australian, then £10 in Australian dollars would be about $18 bajillion, because Australian dollars are terrible. Like, this tank cost me £90. If I was in Australia, it would cost me 15,000 Australian dollars. Because no one understands Australian currency. It's just nonsense.
It was a bit like Italian lira, wasn't it?
Oh, God. That was a stupid currency. 12 bajillion million lira. Oh.
To our mates, when we used to go on holidays as teenage or late teenagers, you would convince your mate that it was a good idea for him to go and change 300 quid into Italian lira.
Oh, yeah.
And watch the look on their face as this suitcase load of cash.
But you have to say to them, don't get the big notes, because a load of places don't accept the big notes. Just get the small denominations.
You've got to get it in change.
Yeah. 10 lira notes.
Yeah. Oh, mate, you used to always get them.
Where we're up to. Hang on, I've lost it. The Bobbins says, when Phyllis was saying about them not releasing the battle boxes, the Bobbins says I still haven't painted all the Conquest miniatures yet. I haven't even touched my Conquest miniatures. I've got all the Death Guard to paint. I've got all the... I've got all the Space Marine ones, but they're going to George, because if you remember, George went half and half on the Conquest set with me. So they're going to get painted and go to George. However, I have been sent a box from James Donnelly, which I haven't opened yet. I'm going to do a mystery package thing. He sent me, I don't know if it's just the Space Marines or the entire Conquest set, but he basically started the Conquest, started painting them, and decided it wasn't for him. And he's very kindly gifted me the whole set. Now, I don't know if it's just the Space Marines or Space Marines and Death Guard, but basically it means I'll end up with the whole set, so I haven't painted them either yet. But they're all painted. He started painting them, so I might do it as a tabletop trauma centre, I don't know yet.
Yeah.
But I've not opened that yet. I've got a big rattly box of plastic things in there. So I'll still end up with the entire Conquest set that I'll never get round to painting. You can guarantee it.
Yeah. It will sit there and you'll be going, I must get round to painting them.
Yes. Paul says, you're reaching pretty far there on playing Warhammer is therapeutic. Yeah, I know. I think we are. Do you think Helen would buy it if we said it was good for your hand-eye coordination? And she wouldn't.
No, she's not. Yeah.
Would she not go for it? No. Max Begin says, for beginner purposes, for 40k, I would play either 500 points or 1,000 points. You've done that one already.
I have.
Yep.
No, notice how I let you carry on reading?
You did. I noticed that, but I caught myself. He also mentions there's a thing called Battle Scribe. It's a free app where you can build up. It allows you to work out what your army needs to be made of.
Oh right.
Like you might say I want to make a 2,000 point army, and then you can go through and say what all the different units are and what points they cost.
Yeah, what you need to get to achieve that.
Yeah, so you can say, what if I have 3 tanks? What have I got left? And I can put these over there. It does adding up for your war gear and upgrades on what your army has.
Yeah, turning up with this battle wagon and insane blade wouldn't work, would it? No.
They're kind of off piste a little bit.
Yeah.
You probably I mean, you theoretically could play them, but you'd have to spend a long time working out all the points based on all the weapons on them. So you'd either just put it in as a standard battle wagon and just ignore all the extra weapons stuck on it, or you'd have to come up with your own kind of points, and you probably have an entire army there in 2 vehicles.
Yeah, it's like,
Philly's got to go back to the real world. Nice to be back at the bench and in the chat. Thanks as always, gents. Hopefully I'll be around a bit more now. The hobby room is done. Good to have you back, buddy.
Always nice to see you back, Phil.
Yeah. Max says you can make anything you want it to be for your battlefield, for your game table. It's like forging your own world or star system.
Oh dear, don't tell me that.
Yeah. Well, that's what a lot of people do as well, is they'll make a basic flat surface.
Yeah.
Like they'll either use the Games Workshop flat panels with all the texture on them.
Yeah.
And then they'll get a load of the buildings, and then you don't attach them; you just place them.
Yeah, magnetise them or whatever. Or,
don't need to.
Yeah.
If you get, I mean, those big 2x2, I think they're 1 foot by 1 foot or 2 foot by 2 foot plastic things. They're like the industrial ones. They're all like roadways and pavements.
Oh right, yeah.
And again, it's all modular. So if you get the building fragment, because they're all bits of broken building, they all fit within those plates. So you can put a building there and a building there. Yeah. And you can move them around. So a lot of people get the building elements and just move them around. They can just change up the table all the time.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, so you could build a flat landscape and then just get lots of little building things, and like you get lots of companies do wooden buildings and structures and things. And if you don't attach everything, that means when you get bored of that layout, you can start moving buildings around and
just move it around, change it up.
Yeah, or stick that building on top of that one. Now you've got a big tall tower. So. Take care, Phil East, who's gone now. Darren says, I don't know Fester that well, but I get the impression if he was on a gaming table, all you would hear would be... all you would hear... I'll let you read that one out, because your voice is better than my voice of you.
Don't know Fester that well, but I get the impression if he was on a gaming table, all you would hear would be, I don't care what it said in the book. They do what I effing tell them to do. You know me better than you thought you did. Mate.
You know him. You now know him well enough. Your knowledge of Fester has just levelled up.
Yeah, it's like Nigel Wood at Friday when I said, well, look at that fat-ass little gun that they put on there.
He thought that was the best thing ever.
Yeah, he was like, oh, that was just, made his day, didn't it?
The thing is, like, to non-Brits, British slang can be quite good, but to non-Brits, London and Southern slang can be even better. Especially when applied with your accent.
Absolutely. As its moments, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Time for some rusty chips now. These are going to go inside the other chips.
Yeah, people do find it fascinating, I must admit. Could you say this? Could you say that? And I'm like, really? Go, please.
What was it you said earlier on? Spoon something?
Spoon bowl.
Spoon bowl!
Yeah. Get your spoon bowls here.
Get your spoon bowl here. For some reason, whenever I do a silly voice, it comes out with the lateral lisp. Spoon bowl. Freight for a pad.
Freight for a pound. Oh, blimey. Apples and pears, all of that.
Little
you
lady.
Ted always go into Dick Van Dyke mode. It is funny. It's quite sweet.
Who does?
You and Ted.
I don't do Dick Van Dyke. I'd rather eat my own face than do Dick Van Dyke mode.
Yeah. Ted starts dropping his H's. Brilliant it is.
At no point have I ever gone, go blimey, Mary Poppins! And, oh, Dick Van Dyke.
It's when Ted does Pigeon Head now. It's brilliant. I love that.
Oh, yeah.
You're having a bubble, he says, with his little pigeon head. It's brilliant. It's like, good on you, Ted.
The good thing with Ted is that whenever he tries to do an accent, every accent he tries to do is basically just a Barrow accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he comes from Barrow, so it's basically his accent.
Yeah, it's like, that's Ted doing the London accent again.
He's like, I'm Ted from Barrow. Let me do a French accent. I'm Pierre from Barrow. Oh, didn't work.
Yay! It's charging.
What's charging?
Me iPad.
All right.
Me tablet, because it's flatter than a witch's tit.
Flatter than a witch's tit.
Yeah. So I thought, why's my iPad keep going dark? It's because it had no charge in it, Cole. Yeah.
How do you know the battery's going flat? Because the chat has every other word missing.
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Sorry, I haven't got enough charge to put all the words on there, so I'll just put the important words.
So yeah, that's that and that.
I've not done a lot today, but I've had fun doing it.
Yeah, it's.
I'm using the wrong. I'm using. Oh, what am I doing? Oh no, it's just. I'm using an artificial airbrush when I should be using my broken toe brush. God damn it! Well,
yeah, but the broken toed brushes are special, isn't they? I mean,
we shall be using those when we do our Lehman Russes.
Yes, it's hold breath and pucker all the time that the broken toed brush is in your hand. It's yeah, they are.
Well, you will find a perfect use for it when we start doing chipping on your Lehman Russ.
Yeah,
when you start doing chipping the Foxx way.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, and you start doing the edge highlighting and things.
Oh mate, yeah, my paint jobs will end up taking 6 years, but I don't mind that.
The question is, when we do these Lehman, for those that don't know, Colin and I have both bought the same kit, Lehman Rust Demolisher, and at some point we're going to figure out how to do it. We're going to do like a little video series where, live stream series, where I walk Colin through how to paint in my style.
Yes.
Just so that he can learn how I do it, and then he can choose if that's the way he wants to go or nick any of my techniques. Just another technique he can learn to find his own technique. And I've forgotten what I was actually going to say.
And it's the Lehman Russ, wasn't it? It was
Demolisher.
Working out how we're gonna stream it, how we're gonna go around teaching it, isn't it?
Yeah. But the beauty of it is that we haven't decided yet if the kit will actually include, and this is, I might leave this to you, I don't know, but whether you want to include the actual tank commander figure or if you want the hatches all closed. Now, do you want to be a complete girly wuss flip boy and not have the figure, or do you want to be a man and paint the figure?
No, I've already said to you, figures.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, tank commander. Are they Forge World?
No, it's the guy that comes with it.
Yeah, no. If it's in the box, I want to paint it.
All right, yeah, it's the little dude that sits in the turret.
Yeah, no.
Cool.
You know, it's. I know I don't want to be a girly wuss, mate. You know,
Good.
if that's what's needed, then that's what gets painted, mate.
Because it's just...
You're good enough to try to, you know, have the patience to teach me the technique. Because, like I've said to you before, I've always liked your painting technique and the style of your work, and I would love to be able to try to learn it.
Yeah.
So therefore, the only way I'm going to learn it is to sit there and bloody do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So why scrimp and say, oh, no,
don't want to do that bit.
Yeah, you know, it's all or nothing, isn't it?
And it's not that I'm gonna teach Colin the right way to do anything, because that's not it at all. Colin said in the past that he wants to find his own method of painting, his own style. And the best way you can find your own style is to copy other people's styles and then cannibalise from those styles what you liked, what you enjoyed, what worked well for you, what you think fits with your personal style. Yeah. So, you know, as part of that learning process, it makes common sense to take advantage of people you actually know who already do it.
Yes. You
know, because what I did when I was learning was watch people on YouTube painting stuff and copy them and figure out how they did stuff, and then went off and found out how to do it myself.
Yeah, but, I've been watching Duncan, because you said watch Duncan stuff. I've been doing that.
You can learn that way to paint. But when you actually know, when you've actually got access to the actual person who's doing it and can sit there and show you how to do it, that's always a good thing to do. So if anybody out there is learning to paint and, you know, and has heard the advice saying, you know, copy other people's style, I would never say don't set out to emulate someone else.
No, you don't want to mimic it, because that's not what it's about. You want to take a bit from this, a bit from that, and a bit from this, and
So while you're learning, copy the crap out of everybody, but just until you're familiar enough with it that you're comfortable doing it, and then think, right, well, I don't like the way that looks, I don't like the way this works, but I like this bit, so I can do that.
Yeah. But it's like anything, not every technique works for every person, does it? So...
But that's the beauty of it. So once, you know, Colin's copied me and he's copied Duncan, he's copied some others, by then he might have started to find his own little way of doing things. Because, you know, as you learn, this is what happened to me, you know, you might find somebody's way of doing something and think, oh, I never thought about doing that. And then as you're copying them, you might think, hang on a minute, what if I do it this other way that I've just thought of?
Yeah.
Would that be... And then you might find a new way of doing something based on somebody else's way of doing something that they hadn't thought of.
Yeah. And it's one of those, it just might make an interesting hook for a live stream, you know, where people go, yeah, we'll sit and...
Yeah.
Because, you know, you can learn along with us, because none of us are too old or too good to learn new things. No. It's what keeps me inspired with the hobby. I like to learn new things. Foxx is good enough to say, well, yeah, let's have a go then and see what we can do with it. And we're going to run with it, mate, didn't we?
Now, I have a question for you, because the big question I had about it was, and this is a conversation that the people probably don't want to know about anyway, but I'll ask you while I've got you here. Is the question I've got is, right now in StreamYard, are you seeing my feed in nice, clear, crisp quality, or is it all pixely and blocky and horrible?
No, you're super high def, mate, on my system.
Okay. I don't mean on YouTube, I mean in StreamYard.
Yeah, in StreamYard, I don't see the crystal clear, mate.
Okay, that's good.
What I'll do...
Because I've noticed at my end, when I'm not the one doing the streaming, I'm usually crystal clear, but one other person, on the Monday it's usually Chris, and when it's me and you together it's usually you. In StreamYard, you're always blocky and low res.
Oh yeah, that's because, don't forget, we're doing the uploading and all of that lot.
Yeah, well,
I could see you crystal clear on my screen in front of me.
Well, I was wondering, because I know your broadband's a bit pants sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I was wondering whether
its moments.
Yeah, I was wondering whether, so you can see what I'm doing and you can see and I can see what you're doing. It might be better if I do the actual streamy bit.
Yeah.
Although to your channel, obviously, if we're doing a live stream.
Because that way, it on the Frolic, and we can do it on the Sunday if you want.
Yeah. I would now do it as a separate series if you want to, but how you want to do it. But it might be better if I actually run the Streamlabs and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that way you then get a clear picture of what I'm doing, and I can see what you're doing. Because if we do it the other way, you're going to be all blurry and blocky on my end, and I won't be able to see what you're doing.
Yeah,
so
that's the point. Yeah, I'm with
there may have to be a one-time use stream key set up perhaps for your channel, so I can stream it to your channel.
You've got my stream key anyway. I messaged it to you, but I'll message it you again.
Well, I don't do it right now, but I'm just thinking it might be from just not from the viewers, because the thing is, when you're blocky at my end, from the viewer's point of view, everybody's crystal clear.
Yes.
So I don't know what it is. It's really weird, but it doesn't. I just didn't know if it was the same when I'm streaming. And you're the passenger.
It's just a thing with StreamYard.
Yeah.
The only other way we could do it is use Hangouts Meet, isn't it?
Because that's even worse.
Is it really? I've not tried.
Yeah, Hangouts Meet goes up and down in quality all the time, and it's yeah. It's fine. The StreamYard is fine as long as as long as you can see what I'm doing. That's the trick, you see.
Yeah.
That's the tricky bit, because the downside to all this is, of course, you'll be watching me through a webcam, and I'll be watching you through a webcam, and it's never good to start with anyway.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out. That's a bit of inside baseball, anyway.
Yeah, we'll get there.
What are you doing?
What am I doing? I am painting a catapult. With a base coat.
Oh yeah, get it done.
Yeah, so that's all
Activate
I'm doing today.
painting monkeys.
Base coats and more base coats. Blander than a bland thing, but
nothing wrong with that.
It's a start.
Bland is good. Just ask John Major.
Yeah, more peas, Norma.
I was just thinking that exact thing. Oh, the peas are good tonight.
That was so brilliant, the spitting image. The way they done his puppet grey. It was just perfect. Couldn't have got that better.
Spot on. Poor bugger.
Yeah. Nice peas, Norma. Okay, John. Things we found out after he'd left office, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Moving on.
I like doing chipping. I'm chipping.
Yeah,
I'm chipping. I'm chipping.
For the viewers, it'll be something interesting because they'll be able to follow along with it, won't they?
Yeah. I mean, it'll probably be a case of, we'll have to do lots more close-up views of things, because again, you'll need to see
camera angles.
Yeah, because you'll need to see what I'm doing to copy it, and I'll need to see what you're doing, so I can bollock you when you go wrong. But
yeah,
no,
camera angles. I'm lucky with this camera I'm using because it is a really nice, more recent version of the Logitech cameras, so it does really do a nice picture.
But it might be that we're painting one bit, and we move the cameras in really close, and the next bit we have to, during the stream, we'll have to move cameras around and fart about. It's not ideal for the viewer, but it's more important that you can see what I'm telling you, what I'm showing you.
Absolutely.
It'll be fun.
And of course, you do get to point the finger of shame quite willingly, as and when you choose to do so. Yes.
The only difficulty for me, though, is that I'm sitting here facing this way, and my monitor's over on my right-hand side on the computer desk.
Yes. We need to look at a way of giving you that view back that you desire, isn't it? Because at the moment, you're a bit arse upwards, isn't you?
Yeah, there's no way to move monitors around, unfortunately. That's practical.
Yeah.
To put the monitor in front of me here, it's not ideal.
We'll get there. We'll figure it out.
I mean, it might just be the case that, I sit here and say, right, here's how I'm going to do this bit, and you watch. And then I say, right, now you go and do it, and I'll watch you like a hawk, and then I'm not doing it while you're doing it. Yeah,
absolutely.
And then once I say, right, you've got that right, you're doing it right, then we just sit there and do it, and we'll be like, right, we are. So I might say, right, here's how you do a chip, and you watch. Yeah. Then I sit and watch you do a little bit and say, right, brilliant, let's crack on with it. And then we both just do the whole thing. And then we can not be looking at the monitors then.
And there's going to be time, because it worried you at first, wouldn't it? Of, well, if I have to pick you up that you're doing something wrong, how are you going to feel about it? Just tell me, I'll understand. the whole part of learning, isn't it? You know, you're not going to get it right straight away. And as the tutor, you know, you need to be able to say, oh, that's a bit gash, mate. Yeah, you might want to try this, and this. So I'm open to it. Wouldn't do it otherwise, would we?
Well, the thing is as well, and it's something I realised afterwards, is while I'm showing you how to do something in my way, which is just a normal way of doing it, I'm not going to really expect you to do. If I say, right, here's how you do X, and I show you how to do it, and then you start doing it, I'm not going to start picking you up on it as you're doing it, and if it's not quite right, because what I expect is more realistic and easier, is to show you how to do it, let you do it, and then I don't expect you to be able to do something brilliantly straight off after just seeing me do it. Because it'd be a case of, I've shown you how to do it, now you go and do it, and at the end we can say, okay, well that didn't come out quite right, and this was a bit... But then at least you know the method, and you've done it, and you know in the future. So I don't expect you to...
Oh, no. I mean, in my mind, I was going to, once it's finished, put it in a box, wrap it up, and post it up to you so you could see it close up. So you can really pick at where you think, oh, yeah, that's where it went wrong there. Or
Well,
I've got no problem with that.
But that's the thing. I mean, it's not that I'm going to sit there and say, no, you did it wrong. No, you're doing it wrong. I'm going to let you just crack on and do it. And I'll show you how to do it. It's more about just showing you how I do it. And then you apply that. And I expect you to not be 100% at it because you've never might have done that technique before.
Absolutely. You know, and that was in my head. Well, it's far easier you seeing something close up in front of you. Once it's done, you can go, you was going down the right path. You lost it a little bit on this section. You did it okay on that section.
Yeah,
and
that's the idea.
For me, that is brilliant, you know, because, you know, I can always put it in detail. I can always repaint it, you know, and I've said to you before, don't be afraid of fault picking as such, because how are you going to learn? How are you going to improve unless someone gives you good, honest critique? Well,
that's why I thought the Lehman Rust might be good, because it's not a massive Baneblade or something, which is like, you know, so, 3 weeks doing chips. On that note of chips, by the way, I have done the chips on this now. I don't know if people will see on camera. I'll go full screen so they can see, but they probably won't. I have done highlight and rusty colour chips on these bits. Now, do keep in mind the webcam is completely poorly balanced for colour, so you're not seeing the colours quite right as they actually are, and they don't look as quite as stark. There is actually, you can actually see a white highlight on those white chips. It doesn't come out on camera as easily. So that's done. I've got to do the same on the other one now. But once those chips are done, I've just got a few little details I need to pick, and then I can finally start on the weathering, I think.
Oh, I'm impressed.
Yeah. Well, let's see your work there, because we'll wrap up in a minute. I'm ready to go for a wee in a minute. So let's have a bit of a look at what you've done. Let me put you on full screen. Hang on.
I've been just putting down base layers on turrets and stuff and rollers and things. It's all I've really been doing today is just putting down base colours.
Yep, it's an essential part of the painting process.
Yeah, so that's kind of all I've been doing with it, really. You know. And
you know
then
what?
I can go.
You know
in,
what I'm seeing. You know what I'm seeing.
All the rivets. What?
That roller.
I want to put a grot on it that's been run over or something.
Oh yeah, no, but you know what I'm seeing. This isn't a thing. This isn't a thing to add. I'm just seeing how much weathering you can do on that to get all the bare metal and the scraped metal, and it's going to be so much fun. Yeah, because like most of that will be like bare metal, won't it? So just
yeah.
But of course you put the paint down first, so you can then weather it back to
absolutely.
That's going to be brilliant. That's what I would have done. Paint it first and then weather the metal out.
Oh yeah, and then just weather the bejesus out of it. But yeah, I've got a couple of little grots, and I want to warm one up so it looks like he's fallen and he's sort of spread eagled up the front of the roller. Yeah.
Well, there is one on the front of the is it the Boomdacker Snazwagon that's got the grot? It's got the grot snapped to the front. If you can find one of them on eBay, he's already partially flattened for you. You can flatten him down a bit.
Yeah. So that's where the mind's working.
Pancaked grot.
You just got to, you just got to do it.
But all I can see in my mind is like what that roller will look like once you've weathered in all the metals and scratches and scrapes and because you just get that wonderful sort of that kind of thing is where you get the option of doing not just paint chips, but also paint that fades from bare metal to paint, or paint where it's just...
Yeah.
How do you think you're going to do it? Have you not decided yet?
I've not really decided, to be honest with you. It's one of those. I just wanted to get base colours down today so that I can then just stare at it for a few days on the bench, you know, and then, so...
Candygram says...
I think it's going to be a lengthy progress, the roller, I must admit.
Yeah, Candygram says the blade behind the roller is brilliant because you wouldn't want your tracks getting fouled up unnecessarily.
Absolutely, mate.
Yeah. All Fester's modifications make perfect sense.
Well, yeah, why remove something to put the roller on? Why not just put the roller on as well?
Why are the roofs on those turrets making me think of Daleks? Not the bottom bit, just the silver and bronze bit. It just makes me think of Daleks.
Yeah, no, they're quite, yeah, I do like them.
Oh, you know what you need to do?
What?
You need to make a little Dalek plunger as a little little Easter egg, so it looks like there's a Dalek on top of the gunning tower. I don't know why, just like have a little plunger sticking out the front. Because that's like the bit with the rivets is like the skirty bit with the balls on it on a Dalek, isn't it? And the pointy bit's like the head.
Got to be done, isn't it?
Oh.
But no, it's just something different, isn't
Yeah.
it?
I love it.
Why not?
Right, let's take you off full screen, and I'll have a quick look at chat, and then we'll call it a day, I think. Let's have a look. The Bobbin says you can just buy 6x4 mats for the terrain to sit on. They're like giant mouse mats. Yeah, that's true.
Oh, right.
But we get 6x4, and they're just—it's like a printed picture of like a landscape, and you just put your buildings and terrain on it. But you know what Colin's like? He'd want to build an entire landscape.
Oh yeah.
It's like if I was building a landscape, if I was building a game table, and I had a Deathcore Krieg army, I'd want to build like trenches and mud and exploded trees. I'd basically build a World War I battlefield, but then it'd be permanent. You couldn't move it around. So Max McGinn says, surprisingly, a battle wagon only costs 120 points for the base model, and extra gubbins you can do easily. That's why the battle wagon only costs, what was it, 20 quid, 30 quid?
Yeah, 23 quid I got that for.
It's a perfect example of the weird pricing. You know, we said before that sometimes you can get an absolute bargain. You look at the size of the battle wagon, and it's 23 quid, and it's
price.
24 quid, because in the game it's not expensive to play. It's only 120 points. Yeah. So if you've got a 2,000 point game, you can have quite a few battle wagons. So you're getting a lot of kit for 20 quid. Whereas for 20 quid, you could also buy a squad of 10 Space Marines.
Yeah.
Which is a lot less plastic. So there are bargains to be had.
That's what throws people, isn't it? It threw me up first.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, I'll get that. And then you, like I say, I got the Sentinel. That was the same price as that. And it was like, bit tiny.
Yeah, Sentinel's
then
like
it's
a little...
worth a bit more. So
yeah, and it's like that battle wagon's not that much bigger than a Baneblade, and yet the Baneblade's like 90 quid or 60, 70 quid. Yeah. If you go to Goblin Gaming, my link in the description below, you can spend a lot less on your Warhammer. I'm looking in my Ork book, and it's got my brain going. Any big cannons cost 15 points each, and big machine guns is 5 points, but everything else included on the model. So you could theoretically, with Orks, you could work out the points for your big Ork wagon with all the guns on it.
Sounds like a job for Max, that does.
But think about it.
Max, he'll work it out.
But the best thing is, though, what you basically do is imagine you've got like 20 guns on that.
Yeah.
You'd have to roll 20 dice every time it did anything.
Oh, really?
Like you'd move it for the shooting stage. You'd have to roll. If I've got 20 guys with weapons, I have to roll 20 dice because each one of them is a dice. Yeah. So if you've got a vehicle with like 20 weapons on it,
yeah.
And if you've got any
each weapon you're trying to play, then you've got to see what it's doing. Is it a kill shot? Is it done this?
So you'd roll a dice for each weapon to see if it actually hits the target. But then you'd have to roll different dice for different weapons because different weapons have different stats.
Yeah.
So you'd be like half an hour just to take a turn with your battle wagon. But the funny thing is, you're probably like, I'll do my shooting phase now, and I just pick up half my army and just take it off the table because I'd be like, fine, there you go. I'll just do that now for you, save you the hassle.
Yeah, you might as well have them all now. Yeah.
Just put them all on your side. Darren says, roast pork has just come out of the oven, just trying to figure a way of stealing some crackling without getting caught. Crackling.
Distraction techniques always work.
Just had a brave moment. He then says, had a brave moment. I'm 6'4" and 18 stone. No one's going to stop me anyway. Oops, just been rumbled. And then we don't hear from him after that.
Yeah, I thought that once and I was foolishly outwitted.
Yeah, well, we don't hear from him after that, so clearly he's just been murdered and buried under the patio now.
Yeah. It was nice knowing him.
Yeah. Panzer does say to blame the dog or cat or me for the crackling. Cryo the punching bag says, I'm a girl who wore a new pick on Australian dollars. I'm really getting bashed here.
Oh, bless.
I didn't realise you were Australian. You have my deepest sympathy. No, I love Australians. But yeah, you do have you have the worst dollars that are like strange.
Oh,
The thing is, when it comes to video games, Australians get absolutely shafted though.
Yeah.
Because they pay a fortune for stuff. Like Canadians get shafted on pricing a lot as well.
It's all the import duty, isn't it? I suppose, because getting stuff there.
Yeah. Well, it's always
you try and post to Australia. I've got friends out in Australia, and quite often I try to send them stuff, and then you're like, really? They want that much just to send that?
Well, it's like you'll see things for sale, it'll be like US $45, UK £45, which can work in our favour a few quid either way. Australia $749. It's like, oh. And of course, you don't know whether they've got overpriced or underpriced in that. Yeah. Let's have a look. Where we're up to. Eon's car said, I'm 5 foot 1 inch or 152-ish centimetres and 80-ish kilograms. When somebody says their dimensions in kilograms and centimetres, I don't understand.
I have absolutely no idea whether they're thin, tall, short.
Yeah. If you say you're 5'8", I know how tall you are. If you say you're 170 centimetres, I'm like, is that what? You're the size of a pencil? Is that like about an inch? Yeah. Is that a foot? I don't know.
Yeah.
And they say they're weight in kilograms. I'm like, I don't know.
I'm like, what's that in stone?
Yeah, what's that in like even pounds? I don't get.
No, I don't.
Like, I don't know if a 300 pound. I don't know if a 300 pound man is heavy or thin. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But if you say you're 25 stone, I'm like, you're a big fat knacker then, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is it £12 to a stone?
Don't ask me that.
Yeah. I was just like, just tell me in stone. I'll understand.
Max says for the shooting phase. Oh yeah, he says about your Ork truck. He says for the shooting phase, you could easily roll 200 plus dice for that.
Oh really?
Yeah, not really, but yeah. Oh,
yeah. God, imagine what I'd have to roll on Insane Blade then.
Oh God, all of them. Yeah. You'd have to have a second table just for the dice.
Yeah, he was a nice bloke. He's still rolling dice 15 years later.
Mm. Well, that's the thing. The more troops you have on the table, the more dice it involves. The longer the game goes on.
Yeah.
Andy McLeish is in. He says big bear man hugs of mans for mans. Welcome, Andy. Just as we were easy. Cryo says easy. Vegeta is 171 centimeters. What's a Vegeta? I don't know what that is. Oh, is that a Dragon Ball Z thing? I don't. That's not. I've no idea.
I would just say that would be an ecumenical matter.
Yes, unfortunately, a frame of reference that I don't know doesn't really help. That's a good basis of comparison. I don't know what a Vegeta is. Ian's car says I'm around 12 stone. What's that? That's skinny bloke, isn't it? 12 stone.
12 stone skinny, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably about.
I'm 17 stone 4 and 6'1", so yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably about 13 or 14 stone. I don't know, maybe. And I'm skinny with a little bit of a pot belly.
Yeah.
Cryo says, yeah, Vegeta is the man. I don't know anything about Dragon Ball Z, so I can't. That doesn't help me. La, la, la. I'm sorry, I'm now back to working stupid Sundays, so I'm a miss most things.
Oh, bless you.
We forgive you,
a shame, Andy.
But we do take 10 XP off you for saying I'm a, because you're not Jay-Z or whatever it is that said, whoever it is that said I'm a.
Yeah, in it, Ali G, in it.
I'm a stop you there. No, you're going to stop me there.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
Andy's 6'3" and 20 to 22 stone, otherwise referred to as a wall. Yeah, I'm a door frame filler.
I used to know a copper who was known as the Stairs.
Yeah.
But that's because when people got in the back of the van with him, they got out looking like they'd fallen down the stairs.
Yeah.
Back in the days of that kind of policing.
Back in the day of persuasion techniques.
Just get in the back of the van. This is Officer Stairs. You'll get to know very well.
Yeah.
Right, anyway, I think we are done.
We are.
I have done some chipping. I'll finish the chipping later. I've got to do the chipping on the German grey one.
Absolutely.
And then I've got loads of other little bits to do. Thank you everyone for watching. It's been very kind of you to watch. Thank you, Colin, for joining me as ever.
Always
You're a
pleasure,
lovely, lovely fella. Would you like to do all your usual goodbyes and then I'll wrap up?
Yeah, I'll say my goodbyes. Thanks for watching, folks. If you want to subscribe to the channel, subscribe to me at Festa67's Workshop, YouTube. Support me on patreon.com, Festa67's Workshop. You can join the channel. Go to my website, Festa67'sworkshop.com, and you'll find all the info you need about me on there.
Yep.
Lovely.
And of course, for me, if you'd like to help my channel on this channel that you're watching now, that of course is this channel. So you're already subscribed, or if you're not, why are you not? You can support me on Patreon and stuff as well. It's patreon.com/modelmakingguru, or you can press the join button on here to become a member for my channel. And again, same as Colin, it helps out massively, keeps both the channels alive. And while both of us have active channels, we're both bringing you Warhammer Sunday, so help us both out. Always a winner. I will be back tomorrow, and so will Colin for eModels Monday. Hopefully you'll be with us, will you, Colin?
Absolutely. Look forward to seeing you all on there.
Yeah, so we're back on the eModels channel for eModels Monday tomorrow.
You do realise, though, mate, it's your what's in store, and you're not allowed to skive.
Oh, right. I think Mama Foxx might be a bit ill tomorrow.
No.
She might have a need of some sort.
Finger of shame. Finger of shame.
Hey, she might have a headache or something. I'll need to.
I'll take your big pink straw away.
You can't, because Mama Foxx uses it now as well.
Ah.
See, if I give her a can of Dr Pepper when she has a dinner, she's got these little metal. She's got these metal straws that she uses when she's like drinking from a travel cup. But when she's in a can, it's like. So I gave her a big pink straw because it's quiet.
Yeah.
When she's rattling the can around, so.
Bless her. It's had an adverse effect on her belching abilities.
Oh God! She takes a big swig of that can and belches like half the working staff of a Glaswegian shipyard. It's like Harland and Wolf or something.
Oh, bless her heart.
It's like she burps, and there's half a canal dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow on the eModel show as well, even if it is my watches. Are you sure? Who did it last week? Was it Ted?
I did.
You did?
No, I did. Yeah, because I thought it was Ted's last week, so I ended up doing the what's in store.
Yeah.
But,
So it is, because it's Chris first. Then
happened. Yeah,
it's Chris first, and then you, and then me.
Yeah.
Which, even if we used Festa and not Colin, it'd still be you before me. God damn it.
Absolutely, mate. That Beck of Alder, mate. You can't get out of it, Fox.
Tart.
Wibble.
Throughout the week, I probably still won't be doing any recording because I've got to get these finished before I can do anything. I'm going to get these finished, then I'm going to do a quick update on all the part works and get them all done, and then I'll get back to the normal filming schedule. So I might try and do some live streams. I might try and do a Fallout Friday, possibly. I don't know yet. But I'll be back on Friday with Colin for the Friday Frolic on Colin's channel, Festa67's Workshop, and then back over the weekend. Yeah. But until then, just remains for me to say thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Don't forget, if you do go out, be safe, be careful, wear masks, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
And don't forget, if you have to go out, be good, and if you can't be good, charge.
Absolutely. Just stay safe, folks.
Yeah.
We want to see you all in perfect health.
Yeah. Take care of yourselves. We shall all see you soon. Is Dad doing a stream at 6 o'clock? Do we know?
Yeah. Dad and Sue and the gang are doing a stream over on Scaly Models at 6.
Yep, the in-between show, so make sure to tune into that in about 7 minutes. And is anybody doing a stream tonight? Anybody on tonight?
I think it is Mike doing this. I think he's doing the in-between one, and then he's doing one with his group.
All right, cool. I'm still trying to figure out how to do a Persona 4 stream. I was debating whether to do something. I was debating whether to do like a late night stream tonight of something, but
I keep meaning to do the Grim Fandango one. People have asked me about it, and I just haven't got round to it. But
I'd really like to do. I'd really like to do Persona 4 with someone, but I don't know how to do that.
Is that a subtle request? Is it?
No, it's not. Well, it would be kind of fun because you've got no concept of manga or Japanese RPGs, which would be hilarious.
No idea whatsoever, mate. So
exactly.
If it's something you want to do, then we'll sit and.
But I don't know how.
And I'll happily come and help.
No, I just don't know physically how I'd do it because you'd need to see the game. But I'd have to run the game, run StreamYard, and run Streamlabs all on the one PC. I don't know if that would work. It might not work.
Yeah, you can't capture the window like we do in an hangout when I do a screen share. You know, when you screen share your what's in store.
Oh, and I can do that. It's just whether my computer can run Persona 4, run Streamlabs, run StreamYard, and also upload this video.
How about I run the stream and stream it to your channel using the stream key, and you then run the game?
No, because you need your Streamlabs would need to capture my game.
We can do that if you have the game full screen on StreamYard.
No,
like you would be full screen now, but you're sharing your screen. You know, the game's on it. I just capture that, don't I?
No, the difficulty is not. Here's the difficulty. You've got the game itself. You've got Streamlabs to stream it, and you've got StreamYard so you can see it. My computer can cope with running the game and running Streamlabs and sending it out, I think, just about. What I don't know is if my computer can also cope with running a browser window with StreamYard in it as well.
Right, yeah.
And if that's the case, can my broadband cope with sending the game to StreamYard and then StreamYard back, and then also sending the
it's your
stream
upload bandwidth. Isn't it?
See, I wouldn't need to have. Well, I would need to have StreamYard open, but it's uploading the game to StreamYard, and then downloading StreamYard. How am I going to capture the game and StreamYard at the same time? I don't know. We'd have to figure. This is why I have to figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just do it solo. I don't know yet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, the only way I can think of it is a bit like when you go full screen like that, that would be your gaming window, and that is what gets captured.
Yeah, but it's going to be like 720, because we'd just have the game we'd have the game mostly full screen, and I wouldn't be on camera, so you'd only need to be in StreamYard to see the game. You wouldn't.
Yeah, that's it. I can be in the background, not in the stream. That's not an issue because I can see what's going on screen.
But
I just come in the background, mate.
Yeah, but I will be basically sending the game out to StreamYard and to. I don't know. I'd have to figure it out. There's probably an easy way of doing it. Anyway, we shall have to think about that. But yes, thank you everyone for watching. I need to bugger off. So, Creo says, "Oh, Persona 4. Yeah, I want to stream Persona 4 because it's great." But anyway, I shall bugger off so I can go make some dinner and Mike can do his stream. So, go and head over to Scale Your Models and watch his stream. And we shall say, take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome.
See you later.
Go be awesome. Adios, amigos. Bye.
Tell our folks.
Where's the button? There it is. Oh.